There's an ear. Now. This is going to be bad. Oh, God.
What do you think about this game? We really like to play. If you don't get caught, you will get on base. Get around you home, your team will say hooray. This is why we play a children's game.
Coming live from Lawrence, Kansas, we got the Ballin Idols podcast with your hosts, Sean Meredith and Jason Cougar Wong. Can you kick it?
Welcome, everybody, to the Week 2 recap featuring our new intro music made specifically for Cougar and I.
Rowdy, he is not. Or Johnny from Jeopardy, he is not. I forgot Johnny's last name. I apologize.
Before we jump right into the panel tonight, the Week 2 recap is sponsored this week by Buskerfest. Buskerfest is this weekend coming up. Friday, May 23rd through Sunday, the 25th, smack dab in the middle of downtown on Mass Street. So head to downtown Lawrence this weekend for the annual Busker Festival, sponsored by Free State Brewery. It's 3 days of wild, weird, and world-class street performers, and totally free to attend. Don't forget, swing by the Free State tent for a beer, and 100% of the tips collected by kickballers goes straight back to the KVKL. So a great thing that Free State has done for us for many years here. Seth, Super Sports Sanchez, you want to speak a little bit more about that?
Yeah, all I was going to say is I know we're all keeping an eye on the forecast for this weekend for different reasons, but if it is raining outside, Buskerfest will still go on. There's like a contingency plan in place, so don't write it off completely if it's raining.
That's what I like to hear. So tonight's guest panel, we have, as briefly mentioned already, Seth Super Sport Sanchez.
Coming out of retirement for a special one-time only offer.
We'll see. We'll see about that one-off. We also have joining us, Haley, you down with HLP? Yeah, you know me, Lockwood Peterson.
Oh, hell yeah. Woohoo.
And last, but certainly not 17th, Arvel, the supporter of the second or third or maybe the fourth biggest English football club, Trotter.
Go, man, you.
Europa or bust?
Wow, we're fourth? Wow, that's actually pretty high for Man United.
Tonight we're coming live from the Outdoor Oasis right here at our bar and patio at 610 Florida Street here in lovely Lawrence, Kansas. As always, a big thank you to Brian and James for their continued hosting courtesy as we continue to delve into the 2025 season. Some upcoming dates we have, or rather the one upcoming date we have coming up, is the Kifa Clinic, which is Saturday, May 31st at 2 p.m.-ish at Hobbs Park. Additionally, with that, the deadline for the T-shirt pre-orders has been extended until this Thursday. So that means you can still get on to the Facebook page and get yours pre-ordered through the link. All of the Kifa sponsors in the KVKL proudly support inclusive, affirming spaces for the LGBTQ plus individuals and all marginalized players. We stand together to foster a community where everyone feels seen, respected, and celebrated. This year's sponsors for Kifa are including Scott Temperature, Empire Bar and Billiards, Nourish Training, Learner Real Estate, Up to 11, Grandstand, The Bridge and Body Wellness, Lisa Frank Kickball, and Thrivent Financial, which is Brandon Shreve has sponsored Hobbs Park for the 2025 season. Before we begin our rundown, allegedly, 6 games were unfinished, so I just want to throw that out there. Captains of both teams of those games are being reached out to for continuation or rescheduling to complete their game. I'm sure this is going to come up later. I'm sure that, like I said, the board's reached out to these teams Cougar, what are your thoughts on if you played 5, it's over?
It's over. It's like baseball.
Now, like baseball, if the home team is trailing, though, then you can resume from that point in the game.
Sure.
But if the home team's up after 4.5 are complete,
How many games did you say were still to?
it looks like there were 6 technically unfinished games. I know that I was reffing one of those. Our bar was up by 11 on the Rockets when the 7th inning was completed, and both teams, without our prodding or instruction, lined it up, shook hands, said it was a good game. And then I know one of the captains from the Rockets was then questioning why we weren't continuing because they were only down 11 when about 2/3 of his team began to let him know that they weren't going to continue playing even if the game needed to go on. Our bar pretty much agreed with the weather. By this time, it was almost 8:20 anyways. Looking at some of the score sheets we'll also get into, some games were called much earlier, which I am the firmest believer in safety, but don't agree with those. So we'll get to that here in a bit.
Sounds good.
Week 2, we're going to start right off at Invictus Fitness Field, YSC 1 at 5 p.m., the Toe Pokes 22, the Love Garden Squids 19.
Every game we talk about, we're going to talk about the Wind, but 22-19 in a top 10 matchup is crazy. That's like
bonkers.
You never see that. I mean, so YSC won. The Wind was probably blowing to, what would that be, to right field?
Yeah, hard right.
Anyway, I don't know.
Hard right, yeah.
Either
Hard
way,
right.
the Wind was definitely clearly blowing out. We played Toe Pokes in week 1. That team obviously got a lot better because they added Isaac in the offseason. They added Willis in the offseason. They're, I don't know, probably going to finish the season as a top 6 team, and it looks like they just took Love Garden's spot.
And yeah, I know last week you guys were talking about brothers being on teams, like duels. Willis and Mook on the same team is dangerous.
Yeah, for everybody.
Also, the Combs brothers, Isaac and Aaron on Toe Pokes. Yeah.
Indeed, seem to be deadlier.
Yeah. So here's the thing about this game here. It's like 22-19. You look like a team like Love Guard. You know, I know, a big injury is Skylar Malone at third base. Huge injury. Huge injury. And get well soon from that surgery. But look at a team like Love Guard. It's just like, do they play any defense? I know it's Johnny's last week. They gave up 21 runs. But, it seems like consistently it's like against better teams, like they give up a lot of runs.
Well, and not even just giving up the runs. Like last week, I said I really wouldn't want to be the Toe Pokes this week, and I don't think you take the wind factor and everything else out of it, and watching the game. I couldn't have been more wrong. I thought that the Squids were going to come out with something to prove and put up the amount of runs they did, but. Kind of like you mentioned, was anybody going to play defense? And while the Wind was brutal on Sunday, it's still, top 10, definitely top 10 matchup. Only one of those teams is going to be in the top 10 probably come the end of the year.
I will say that Toe Pokes lineup is crazy, though, because obviously Isaac leading off, Aaron second, and then you wrap around and they have Mookie batting 10. And in a game like this, those guys probably batted 5, 6, 7 times. Like, that's tough to deal with over and over and again.
What's funny about this, like this type of game, like be 22-19. This is the type of game that Love Guard wanted to be. They wanted to be a track meet. Basically, outscored the other by going double digits, or in this case, like close to 20 runs in each side. But for them not to win this type of game that they would want, and they offer the track meet. It's a little disconcerting for a team like Love Guard. It's only week 2. They've already given up 21 and 22 runs the first 2 games each. And we got 8 more weeks to go for Love Garden.
I'm just going to say this.
I'm worried about them.
Toe Pokes would be in the Final Four at the end of the season.
Toe Pokes Final Four, you just called?
Final Four, you hear it first.
Okay.
I'm serious.
You're telling me, hold on, stop. You're telling me between Johnny's, Global Cafe, Post House, Shirt Factory.
They can beat Shirt Factory. They can beat Global. that team is loaded with speed. And you add Isaac's mind to that.
Yeah.
And Willis' determination.
And Julie. I don't want to overshadow Julie. She's a great captain. She bats 3 for them, moving runners, sacrificing. Like, it's an important role.
And shout out to Julie. But yes, Toe Pokes will be in the Final Four.
No offense to the Toe Pokes, and they're a good team. Arvell, you're nuts. You think they're going to be finish the Final Four?
I will see you. I will see you in August.
And if you're wrong, then what?
I'll buy you a soda.
That's it? Oh, jeez, come on.
Oh, and I did look here. I did note before I forget, it was 5 teams that the games were incomplete. JBs versus Bald Beavers, Rockets R-Bar, Shirt Factory Sword, Ghosts and First Responders, which was in the 4th inning, and Gators Soda Jerks. However, Arvell, I need some of what you're smoking, brother. Top 4?
You're insane.
Top 4.
I mean,
you're insane.
get a taste of Europe and suddenly
You don't get a player like Isaac. What were they before Isaac ranked? Top 10?
Like 10, yeah.
Okay.
10.
So that's so now they get at least 5 spots with him. He's that darn good. All right, and then they got some players that's not well as known. Willis, very underrated. And then apparently they got leadership with Julie. Anytime you got a woman leading the way, you're gonna be fine. Empire. We got Anna and Rosa. So anytime you got a woman leading the way and that talent, Final Four.
I want to jump in and definitely say I agree with Arvell, just because we have Isaac guiding Aaron to the right way, and it'll make him calm down a little bit and make better plays, better decisions, I think, in my opinion, seeing in fall ball. So I'm excited to see where they go. Are you not?
Sean, I bet you a soda on this. Dr. Pepper.
I'm excited to see what they do this year. I do not believe that top 4
Top
is
4,
realistic.
come on. Invictus, Johnny's, Global Cafe.
They're beating Global.
You know, and Shirt Factory, Post House. You think they'll be in the top 4?
They're beating
Haley,
Global, Post
Arvell,
House.
you two are nuts.
I just want
You
to
two
say
are
that
nuts.
Johnny's definitely lost to Rick Rollers in the tournament.
That's charity. That's charity. Come
And
on.
they still had very much most
that's
of their
charity
teams.
tournament.
So I think
come
it does show that
I know
they
ladies,
struggle
let's go.
against
You two are
some
insane.
fast teams.
Oh, my gosh.
Sean is lighting a cigarette like he's just had the best sex of his entire life. He's so happy right now at this hot take.
Shout out to Mook and Willis. Let's go.
The
Why is
only
he
thing
one
that
at
can
5
make
o'clock?
this better is if the eldest Pendry actually showed up like he said he was going to.
Oh,
only
Matthew
one's
alone.
dependable.
Leave Matthew alone. Leave him alone.
That's why he's the favorite.
Leave him alone.
Invictus Fitness Field, YSC 1 at 7 p.m. One of the incomplete games, JB Califusion at the Bald Beavers. It looks like, based on the scorecard, it was JB's 16, Bald Beavers 3.
No, that
No,
can't
no,
be
no,
right.
no,
That
no,
was
no, no, no.
16-16.
16-16, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
sorry.
Tie game.
In what inning?
In the 6th, through 6
Jesus.
complete, through 6.5. It looks like there were 2 outs in the top of the 7th.
So they
And
obviously have to resume
JB's
that.
had put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 runs on the board with 2 outs and 2 on when the game was suspended.
Ooh.
So 22-16.
Oh my God.
22-16. Okay. I got summaries on both sides. You want to read that out?
Hey, Cougar, we
What?
had some feedback. You should have Arvell read that.
No. I saw the comments last week. No.
I didn't see them. What were they?
They said that Cougar doesn't have any personality when he reads as someone else.
Oh,
These are meant to be
no.
informative. Okay?
They are informative, but if you aren't giving it a little panache,
Oh my gosh. These kids just whatever. Moving on.
have Chat GPT read it to us.
No. Here's what Adam from JB Cali Fusion is. By the way, in case you're wondering, JB Cali Fusion is the All-Star Squad. Quote, very fun and wacky game with the wind blowing out. Ben in hand with the inside the park home runs. Steven bounced one over the fence for a triple and probably could have had another triple for a home run, but he didn't touch first base. Really? Okay.
Uh-oh.
A ton of first defensive drops and errors on both sides. Beavers scored 7 in the 4th, and then we scored 7 in the 5th. Game was tied up in the end of the 6th at 16 apiece, but then we scored another 5 runs in the 7th before the game got called. Who knows what this game would have been without the weather? Beavers are super cool and fun to play, and assuming we rescheduled, JBs could be on upset alert as 5 or 6 runs felt like no problem for either team to overcome. Quote unquote. That was from Adam from JB's Cali Fusion, the old South Squad. And here's the captain of Andrea Chavez from Ball Beavers. Well, it was a really close game, and the weather presented both teams with challenges in the outfield. There were some great kicks and plays all around. We stopped the game due to the weather, and I honestly don't know what the score innings were and when we did that, since we were all rushing to see cover. Oh, okay. Unquote. That was Andrea, the captain of Ball Beavers.
I see a start time, but there is no ending time on here, which is interesting.
Well, I mean, come on. So,
There are some notes on here. I want to read these notes real quick. For JB's Califusion, Chris got a kick to the 3rd, flushing 2 runners. Taylor, killer catch in center field. Steven, ground roll triple in top of the 5th. Han in the paint. In the park, home run for Ben. Weather deteriorating rapidly. And for the Beavers, Kristen, great kick. Big boot from Sarah, got a run in. So I'm guessing those are opposite notes, which is fine. But weather deteriorating rapidly.
It sounds like the last thing you hear from a ship before it goes down, like weather deteriorating rapidly. It's on the black box.
Yes, like that was the last communication, and then there were no notes even posted. So it's like we're covering something up here.
I don't know the score, the time, anything.
Yeah.
Weather deteriorating rapidly.
You're on your own now, kid.
I want to say I reffed the Ball Beavers game week 1, at least the first half of it, and they are better than they have been in the past. They got one of the former Growlers named Eric Smith, and he was like MVP performance out there. We talk about Isaac going to toe pokes and elevating them. Eric has a similar impact going down into the boot area. I think Ball Beavers are going to win at least a couple games this year. Honestly.
Oh yeah,
Beavers make it to the boot this year.
Okay.
boot final?
They make it to the final. Shout out to Anthony and shout out to Andrea, another lady captain. They're going to the boot championship this year.
Well, okay. At least that's a more realistic prediction there, Arvel. So.
Arvel is really hitting us with the hot takes, though.
Lady captains.
YSC 2 at 5 p.m. Lawrence Free State 21, Empire 8.
Speaking of lady captains, here comes one of the best captains of KVKL.
Here's Rosa.
Hey. I just want to shout out our ladies. We play with 5, 6, 7 most games. They show up and they're loyal and they're amazing. And the guys are great. they kick us in.
We had Sarah making a great catch at shortstop. She made a double play. We had bases loaded with the ladies. Again, ladies leading the way.
We shouldn't have bunted on Free State.
Yeah, Free State is a great team.
That was mistake number 1. We were trying to play you like we played the Gators last week. It didn't work as well, but
30-mile-an-hour winds blowing straight out to right also.
Yeah, I'm like, we finally figured it out. We started kicking away, and things got better.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, but
Also,
you guys were a fun team to play.
Most importantly, congratulations, Rosa, for graduating on Sunday,
Yeah,
walking down the
did the
hill,
thing.
and then playing
Rosa.
kickball that night. That's the most Lawrence, Kansas
okay.
State of all time. I love it.
Yeah, I graduated, got a little drunk, and then came to a kickball game. It was great.
Did you get your PhD or something?
No. I dropped out.
Cougar.
Most Asian parent question of all time.
get a
What are you, a
PhD?
doctor now? Or
No
what?
doctorate
No
involved.
wonder you graduated at a
Bachelor.
construction site. Like, God, Cougar.
No, I dropped out in 01 and went back in 23.
I literally do not know.
I raised some kids and stuff, and then
you-
I went back to school.
And you got it. Congratulations, Rosa.
Congratulations.
I want to add to this. We got a couple of new ladies on our team, and they're doing awesome. Sydney and Amy. Anna as another lady captain. She does a good job of keeping us in line. Shout out to Willow. When she's there, we're just a whole different level. Hopefully we get Willow for a couple more games this year. And then, Free State, though, is a great team. And I must say they got a lot of good kickers, and they got a lady that wears a Florida hat.
Oh, yeah.
She's really good.
Missy,
I don't know her name, but yeah, she's a baller.
Yeah, Missy.
We hadn't played Empire in a long time, and man, that is not the Empire of old. You guys have fantastic talent all over the diamond. Third base, obviously catcher Brant, all the ladies in the middle infield. One of them got me on a double play. So Empire, obviously, it's not breaking any news. They're going to win some games, and I know that you guys have a goal maybe of being a top 25 team, and I think that is definitely an achievable goal for you.
That is the goal. Thank you.
I want to give a shout out really fast to Aaron on our team. He had his gender reveal party. Congratulations, they're going to be having a girl. And then he showed up at 5:07, and he was the leadoff kicker. We were the away team, and he kicked a home run, I think, at 5:08. So he got us off to a good start. He had another home run later in the game. Obviously, the wind was blowing way out, but he got into both of them. And, yeah, it was a super fun game. We got to move people around on defense and play a little bit loose and kind of get to know each other. We've got some new players on the team this year, so looking forward to keeping it going.
Very nice. YSC2 at 7 p.m. The Midnight Tokers 17, late fees 4. Cougar, you got some notes for us?
I do have notes for us. So this is from Jackson Wagner from Midnight Tokers. Quote, shout out to the late fees for being great people and a fun team to play. They played a good game and had a great 3-run fifth inning. The Tokers had a great bounce back game after a disappointing start of the season last week. Jaden played amazing in caps at third while I was out with the hamstring. And Corey had also a bunch of highlights at first base this week. Corey and Jordan both scored 4 runs each. Our girls played amazing all game as well. That's from Jackson Wagner, from Midnight Tokers. Like I said, he injured his hamstring last week at the game of the week against Corksuckers. Get well soon, the injury there. So that's for him. And I got one for Eric from Late Fees. Hang on. All right, here we go. This is from Eric from Liberty Hall Late Fees. Quote, great bases running from KO to get our first run. We managed to scrape a couple more runs in late, but great game played by Midnight Tokers. Top-notch defense from them as well, as we kept our kicking directly to their players, quote unquote. That was from Eric from Late Fees. There. So, yeah, a good bounce-back game for Midnight Tokers. Like we talked about last week, Sean.
Yeah.
I was a little surprised and disappointed a little bit. I mean, too high expectations on Tokers. I thought they would beat, Corksuckers. And, again, having Jackson Wagner being injured in the middle of the game, that really put the brakes on Midnight Tokers, even though they have capable players, also on the squad. So again, a good bounce back there by Midnight Tokers for them. Yeah.
Yeah. YSC 3 at 5 p.m. The KBC Tropics 11, Jazz House 3. Before we get started, Cougar,
Yes.
did you get your flag back?
Yes, I did. That wasn't very nice. Whoever took that flag.
What do you mean, whoever? Who took it?
We know who took it.
Did you narrow down to a culprit?
No, I was told who took it. It wasn't very nice.
Name names, dude. Our bell said
Let's just
we're gonna
say
finish
the
top
initials
4.
are MC.
Name names.
MC.
MC Pants.
MC, yes. M is a Mary, C is a cat. Yes.
MC.
On what
MC.
team?
On what team? Retired, not longer
Technically,
playing.
he's
Matt Cosgrove?
on the Red Lion.
Technically, he's on the red line. Technically, yes. He's retired from playing. And, yeah, he took the flag. It wasn't very nice. Not nice. No.
Well, he had a big birthday party a couple days before, so he might have still been going.
I heard Cougar next level. Like, we may have to give you a code of conduct. The response was off the charts.
Is it on video anywhere?
I hope somewhere someone got that meltdown. Anyways, notes on this game: Jazz House, Hunter RBI double, bottom of the 7th. Tropics, Matty good throw out from the bottom of the 3rd. Top 9, Cougar. Oh boy, Cougar not happy with his base runners. Sorry for the messy score sheet ref in training. Where's the apology for the messy base coaching? Because he's a coach in training at third base for the Tropics. He's not happy with his runners because they know what they're doing.
No, actually, I was not happy because of what one of them was not doing, who shall remain nameless.
Oh Jesus!
Overran third for no reason, basically. That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say. I'm not going to name names who did it, okay? I'm not going to name names.
Cougar, are you still the third base coach?
Yes, I am.
He is.
When you retire from that, are you going to go be first base coach? Sounds like the clock's ticking.
Now the clock's ticking? Okay, yeah.
I don't know. He's got some big pants to fill at third. I mean, he fills his pants a lot, but Rusty Kuntz is the man at third.
Really?
Yes, really.
Really?
Either way, that's just one instance where I was not happy, but that was it. So that was it. So
We
So,
have
Ryan-
we have some of the tropics
yeah,
here.
Ryan, get up here. Ryan,
You know
get up
who's
here.
not here?
Ryan, get up here.
Matthew Pendry.
Oh, leave Matthew
who
alone.
Said, "Oh, guess who always says I never am at the podcast, and guess
Oh,
who's
he
going to be
didn't
there?"
say that.
What
Leave
the
Matthew
hell,
alone.
he didn't. Yeah. Quote me, Matthew Pendry. If you did not come up and dap me and say, "Guess what?" You locked in, eyes focused, like you were trying to bed me, and said, "I will be there on Tuesday." And guess who's not here?
That's comedy. He's listening right now.
Oh, I know he's
Garrett's coming to
listening.
get
By the way,
text,
here's
right?
Ryan, the captain of the KBC Tropics.
No, yeah, I don't really have like a ton to say. I think the wind took out like all of our kicking because we were on 3, which is facing that big rock pile by K10, so the wind is
Yeah.
absolutely just straight in our face. So really, it
I
came,
love that we're denoting the fields by rock piles now.
yeah, the rock. We're facing the rock pile, the closest one to it, and I don't know. I know on Seth's rankings you have Jazz at 31, and I think that's a good spot for them right now. They're actually going to be climbing those rankings every week. I have a good feeling they're way better than they were last year. I know Rick did kind of something similar that we did, where he just completely rebuilt his team.
He does that
again.
every year, though.
In recent memory, yes. But no, I think our team it's our defense. That's really what it comes down to on games like that, like gritty wins. I know it shows we won by 8 runs. It doesn't look that close on the score sheet, but like we had to grind it out, just like Harpies. We grinded it out. Felt a lot closer than it was.
I only gave up runs in the 4th and 7th.
Yep. I will say that what the Tropics did better than Jazz House because of experience is deal with the wind. The Tropics adjusted to the wind and changed the game plan accordingly. Jazz House, a lot of their players are new, so basically they're like stuck with a rock and a hard place. Like, what do we do with this wind? And they try to kick like it's normal, and then it was just like much easier for the Tropics defense. So all to make the plays. So I thought you and Matthew did a good job leading the team to adjust to the wind.
Yeah, and I will say I tried to get Cole up here. He used to play for Jazz House. We have 2 former Jazz House players on our team.
Reese and Cole.
Reese, unfortunately, Thursday before game day against his old team, tore his AC.
AC joint on his shoulder.
He wanted to play, and he was giving me the puppy dog eyes before the game. I'm like, dude, this was Thursday. You tore your come on, we're not
Dominant hand or non-dominant?
dominant. He did it throwing.
Right shoulder.
He did it throwing.
Yeah.
Casual throw. So I know, it was not good. But I felt bad. I felt bad for him. I
Move
called
in
him
the second.
immediately after.
Give him the green light.
That's up to this guy.
No,
Move in
let
the
it
second.
heal. Let
Give him
it
the green
heal.
light.
Let it heal.
Hey, kids,
We
these days-
need our
kids are
team.
resilient.
Our team needs Reese for the postseason. Okay, let it heal. Let it heal. Yes.
Did Jazz House bring back a lot of players? I don't know anything about their team this year.
I think they brought back at least 6.
Okay.
I mean,
Is that true?
I thought that
I don't know.
he had.
He told me that a lot of their ladies came back.
I know that almost all their ladies.
And almost ladies came back. Yeah.
They looked way better than last year.
Yeah.
though. So
Yeah.
if they brought back 6 players, then they must have been doing something different or whatever. 'cause
Well, last year I remember, or like 2 years ago, I guess they only brought back one guy,
like
right?
one
I think
guy-
it was
one male
person,
and
yeah,
that was
So-
it.
I think this every year, Seth. Like it's just like a
Farm
a
team.
Reese tool roster like every single year.
Rick's got to
How
get
he
that NIL game up.
Oh
Yeah.
dear, NIL. Oh dear.
All right, you got a recap there.
I got a recap from Rick from Jazz House. Who said, "Quote: Kudos to KBC Tropic last Sunday. They really handed to Jazz House kickball team. We were playing with some most difficult conditions I've ever played in, with wind gusts up to 30 miles an hour. Kickballs were taking 30 to 40 degree deviations from their intended flight. KBC was able to make the tactical adjustment, which my team just couldn't quite execute. Matt Pendry and his first baseman had the game of their lives. Matt just kept firing rocket throws right into first baseman's torso instead of trying to catch them with his hands. He just waited until they hit his chest and brought them in. That play was called a button hook in my ancient days of playing fullback in football. Okay. Their defense was really good considering their conditions. They made 4 errors, while we made about 40. I honestly think this is the best team I've seen KBC put on the field. More power to them. Great guys to play against. I hope we see them again in the playoffs. Everybody, please come to the game of the week this Sunday. I'm hoping the Jazz House will put on a much better showing. Plus, it's my birthday. I'm only going to be only 74 years old. Yeah. Yeah.
I think the biggest takeaway from the game is that a kickball club was able to beat a kickball team.
Yeah, I know. His words, not mine. It's like, oh, okay.
Tropic's best uniforms in the league, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
I do want to shout out my homie Morgan, who is her first season playing Morgan Beer. Not currently wearing the uniform, but she's showing out in Texas.
Haley, I already ordered it 3 weeks ago.
No, I know. I know she wouldn't wear the original uniform.
Yeah,
so
it's
I just want to shout out my friend Morgan Beer, first season in the league, and she's doing great. Plays City League.
I got to tell you, Morgan's got great spirits. I mean, she's got a good head on her shoulders. She's a good ass as a team.
Amazing softball player as well.
Yes, don't let Cougar bring you down.
What?
YSC 3 at 7 p.m. Global Cafe 14. Rick's Rollers 4. Notes on this: Global Cafe, Marcus with an insane throw-in from first to prevent a run scoring. Liz successful squeeze bunt with bases loaded in the third. Oh yeah, that's the thing. Bases loaded squeeze bunt. That's their new thing.
I hate it.
Patented. Great throw out by Liv at pitcher in the bottom of the third. Trey bunted down 3 and got a lead runner out in the 5th. Rock's double play in the 9th. Wind got crazy. Rollers. Great kick chance to start the game. Great throw from Taylor at shortstop to throw out Marcus, and again to home in the 3rd. Good catch in right field in the 5th.
I have a few things to say about this one.
Go for it.
There was a heads-up double play in the 4th by the Rick Rollers. It was a catch and throw, pretty insane deep catch by whoever plays second base for them, as well as Trey's sneaky in between at second, going to second in the 5th was pretty insane that Bryson pointed out on Facebook. And then there was a heads-up turn to 2 in the 6th. I'm not sure who it was. It was the curly-haired guy who plays for Global. Jimmy, I think. And then Farai had a crazy bunt in the 7th that went down the first baseline that I think really opened it up for them to feel a little more confident, even though they were down by a lot.
Farai, fellow Man United fan, by the way. Here's Jessica.
I reffed that game, and if I had VAR, it would have taken me 10 minutes to decide if Trey was forward moving or not from second to third. So I honestly think best case scenario was him to be at second, because I felt wrong calling him safe at third, but I also felt wrong calling him out. And if I had to make a decision and I had VAR, I would say he did a little rock step, and that's him stopping. So VAR, I would have called him out. Just saying. I know not everyone's going to agree with me. I know Bryson does not, and Trey does not, but that's my thought.
I agree with what you said. He did his momentum stopped for half a second, but also it's so hard to put the refs in that position. Like, I'm not criticizing Trey at all. He's doing what he's supposed to be doing. But, like, asking the refs to if the bases are loaded and all 3 base runners are doing stuff like that, I mean, that's really difficult. I think you guys did a great job reffing that game. I was looking at the score sheets, and Malloy, I think, scored 3 runs for the Rollers, and the rest of their team combined obviously only scored 1 run. And that's probably the difference between a top 5 team and a top 10 team is Global's able to score runs from top to bottom, whereas the Rollers, it's top heavy. Obviously, Global's defense is amazing, but that's something the Rollers are going to have to focus on is getting production from the middle of the lineup from everybody else, honestly.
And for Rick Rollers, like, I know they're going through like adjustment with their roster. They got some changes, additions, and subtractions. But these first 2 games are really tough for Rick Rollers. I tried an easier schedule last year. Like Honey Badgers last week. This week is Global Cafe. So it's tough sledding for them. So yeah. So
Rollers will still finish top 8 at the end of the year.
Who is?
The Rollers will still finish in top 8.
Over who?
Give me names. Farai is too darn good of a player. He knows too much about the game. You add that with Malloy's knowledge and his athleticism, Rollers finish top 8.
No, who's falling out of the top 8? It's like what? Who's falling out of the top 8?
I got Pokes in top 4. So
build out from there.
PH and Glober are out of there.
Out of the top what?
Out of top 8?
No. They finished 5 to 6.
Okay.
Catch me back in August, guys. But
Oh my
Pokes
god.
top 4, Rollers finished top 8. Beavers will be in the boot.
Well, Beaver in the boot is more realistic. What Rollers like? Maybe there. You're still crazy about toe pokes in the Final Four. You're insane.
Farai and Malloy equal winning.
I don't know, man. That inning they put Farai at pitcher is when they kind of got cooked. You might be talking about offensively, but it didn't look good on that front.
Yeah.
I just know he gets on base. That's all I know. He's automatic. Shout out to Farai.
YSC4 at 5 p.m. Johnny's 16, Red Legs 5. I'm looking to see who ref this.
Ratings.
Oh. It was Chris, never V.
Yeah,
So,
so-
of course, there's no notes.
And Brooks.
Yeah.
But Brooks is here. Here you go,
Here's
Brooks.
Brooks, the captain of Ringers.
So this was a very. Can I see a score sheet? Yeah. Both teams came out firing. Redlegs kept it competitive through really. It looked like a game all the way through 4 innings, but then it kind of got busted open. There was one play, I think it was in the 5th or maybe the 6th, where there was kind of a broken play, miscommunication, missed catch in the outfield with bases loaded, and they ended up pulling a double play because runners stayed tagged up, and it just caused some confusion there in that moment. Outside of that, this was a pretty clean game. Johnny's just got it done, and in typical Johnny's fashion. So,
By the way, last week I forgot to read Michael's from Johnny's game summary. This time I'm not forgetting; it's right in front of my face. Summary right now. Quote: Win made a very
Do a
interesting.
voice.
What's that?
Do a voice. Go an octave up.
What? No. Win made for a very interesting game. Pushed most bunts that are normally land foul, which in combination with their very solid defense, forced us out of our usual game plan a bit. Had huge gains from our rookies. Ishe? Thank you, Jessica. Ishe, first inning out of the park home run with 2 outs, score 3. Wow, that's impressive.
Damn.
Lucas played out of his mind for a second game. Red Legs always plays us tough. They matched us runs early and has runners in scoring position all game. Just thankfully didn't land a few kicks with 2 outs. That would have scored several. Always fun to play them, but stressful as captain knowing they always plan to stay within comeback range against us. Also props to Red Legs' commitment. I rarely, if ever, get beat to the field by the opposition for a 5 p.m. game, and they had 5 or 6 of their before any of the Johnny's folks. Wish them best of luck and hope we avoid them the rest of the year. And that was from Michael from Johnny's. There, I read it.
There was a line of people waiting for the gate to get unlocked.
There was.
Friday.
And who let us all in? Nick from Red Legs. Thank
Yep.
you, Nick. Here's Jessica.
It was a pretty good game. Just a couple additions to Michael Linton. But when Ishe, again, the base kicked home run over the fence, 2 outs. Second week in a row that we just can't get out of those situations where we got the first 2 runners out, we're feeling good, and it turns into a 3-run inning. But I mean, Corbin played out his mind. You guys are going to see film. It's probably going to drop tonight for Marcus, hopefully. But Corbin had some sick catches and throwouts. He stopped us from getting even more runs.
Is he playing third? Or no? Nick's
shortstop.
Shortstop.
Yeah, and then we just had some unfortunate errors on drops that just led to multiple runs that kind of dug us a hole that we couldn't really get out of. One thing I want to say about Johnny's, what they do that makes them elite is they make adjustments and they make them right then and there. They moved Zach to left field in the second inning because that's where the wind was blowing. I had a kick on Michael Linton with runners on 1 and 2 that split him in first base. And then the next time and I knew it'd only work once, but then the next time I was up, he scooted closer to the line. They just make adjustments. They're going to adjust to what you do. They're going to watch what you do, and they're going to be composed about it. They're not going to make errors and give you extra bases. You're not going to catch them flustered. So it's that's the one thing that other teams struggle with because they're oh my God, they're having success doing this. What do we do? And it's you got to figure out. You guys got to have other options at what you do and whatnot. But I'm still happy to play with Red Legs. We're figuring it out, and it's a rough start of the schedule to play the 1 seed and the 2 seed back to back, and then we got Shirt Factory this week, so it's a rough. We're getting through the ringer, but come the end of the season, I know no one will want to play us.
I just want to say that I think Red Legs mid-season is going to really show us that they've made some adjustments. They've made some changes to their lineup. They've added people who are really good, and I think it's just a team chemistry thing. They need a couple more weeks to actually play together, and then we'll see some real results. I was kind of upset because I thought this game would be closer. But
Shout out to Jordan, another great lady captain.
Woo. Just look at the rest of the schedule. Sorry to interrupt you guys. Like Sure Factory next week. After that, they have JB's Cali Fusion, and then Sean's Wog, and Honey Badgers, R-Bar, Love Guard, and JD. So, still a tough schedule, but it just really, like, off the bat, it's just like, boom, it just hits you hard. But it'll get a little easier, and like I said, Red Legs, they'll figure it out. They'll be stronger out after the struggle.
Two things that I noticed just from looking at score sheets. Red Legs, 10 people total. That's a drastic change from what the Red Legs have been in the past. I mean, they used to be running 14, 15 deep, and it seems like they cut it down to what it needed to be. And then also, Johnny's, they do it every week, so we forget about it, but they bat 4 ladies, and they kick 12, and they're the best team in the league. So, there is always room to do that. It's impressive.
They also have the best core ladies in the league. They do.
Yeah.
They do.
YSC4 at 7 p.m., another one of our shortened games. Red Lion looks like 16 in the top of the 7th with nobody out. And the Ringers, 11.
Yep. Here's Brooks.
Brooks is going to come fill
Ringers.
us in. What time did this? Did you guys stop playing?
Oh, we went. It felt like
About-
we were the last team
about
playing.
8:15.
It felt like we were the last team playing.
Yeah.
Maybe like 22, 25.
Yeah, right around
Yeah.
the call.
But this was a really great game for our team. The wind felt like it was certainly a factor, but it felt like it kind of went both ways. I don't think I would say either team really necessarily had an advantage from the wind. But after the game we played week 1, kind of laying an egg on the field, to come out and play against one of our tougher opponents this year in Red Lion and really be with them all game, up 5-4 after 3. We kicked well all game. And we played a game with a ton of mistakes, pretty imperfect kickball. So for us to do that and to be right there with Red Lion was a huge sort of it was huge for our team. So we're really excited for next week with Late Fees. Late Fees is a team that's given us trouble in the past. We lost year 1 to them by like 20. Last year we lost by 9.
Yeah.
So who knows what's going to happen this year? We're excited. We're
Now
pumped.
you're going to win by 2.
Hey, may very well. So we're trending in the right direction. It was hard to feel that way after week 1, but we are all definitely feeling ourselves after week 2.
You should be.
And I gotta give you credit there, Brooks. I repped a home plate this game for you guys because Red Line scored like 5 or 6 runs in the 4th inning and batted around. I thought, even though you have that lead and they had that big inning, thinking, it's like this might be a game where Red Line might pull away. But give you guys credit. You guys fought back and kept it within striking range. I got the double digits against a team like Red Lion.
Yeah, honestly, we were in position in the bottom of the 6th. We had a base running error, but otherwise I was up to kick with runners on 2nd and 3rd, down 11-15, and who knows what the top of our lineup's going to do. So it still felt very much in reach for us, even though it was a 4-run deficit after 6. So it was a huge game for our team, probably one of the best games we've ever played, and there's still a lot to look at to improve on too. So huge for us.
So I got the Beavers making it to the boot, but they're losing to the Ringers, and the Ringers are going back-to-back boot champions. Brooks, you're one of the best captains in the league, my man.
Hey, I got to answer that. Hey, we're really looking to play above the boot this year. We're hoping to...
There you go.
I think after this game that we played, I think we have reason to believe that we can compete with you guys and with Jazz House at the end of our season
Indeed.
this year.
And the good news about that is we play each other.
Yeah,
so
love that.
that'll be fun.
Week 9. It's a huge... We've got it circled on our calendar. So we really hope to pick up some wins before then.
Carvel looks shocked.
This week is a huge test for us. We really want to come away with a win against late fees, but we understand that you can't strap on your boots and just show up and expect to win. So we're out here practicing 2 times a week, doing everything we can to get better. We're leaning on each other. We believe in each other now, too. So
We can see it.
The loser between our game buys Dr. Pepper a 12-pack.
Agreed.
All right.
Let's get it.
Good luck.
Thank you, Brooks.
Yeah, no, and also shout out to Mitch kicking in that turnaround spot at the bottom of the lineup, going 3 for 3, 2 runs scored, and looks like a couple RKIs. So I love seeing Mitch just tear it up down there at the bottom of the lineup, having that big, heavy leg where you know that if you can get there, you're going to get back to the top.
We call Mitch in the 11th spot our baby top.
YSC 5 at 5 p.m. Post House 11, JDE Shift 5. Drink shift. Notes on this game. Post House, Simon, great kick down the third baseline during 6th. Jake collision at 3rd with Avery. Got to home during 8th. Simon collision at home with Diz. Diz, big goose egg on his head. I saw a photo of that. He has not a goose egg.
Gosh.
He looks like a topographical map. Poor guy, like, turned into the fucking Sierra Nevadas.
Oh, my gosh. My word.
So, hope that heals up quickly.
Yep.
Ball went into the dugout, dead ball to put Scott at 2nd in the 2nd inning. Thomas scratched during the 8th due to injury. And you know what's funny is during this game, we were playing at 5 o'clock, and I was talking to one of the refs from Sword. And he's like, oh, here comes Simon. We're like, yeah, here comes the home run. Knowing where the bunt goes. And as soon as we said that, he laid down the best fucking bunt of the day.
Did he really?
And it was just like, oh my God, what's happening?
Yeah. That's funny. So, I got some summaries on each side here. This is from Sarah Riley from Post House. Quote, it was a fun game. The wind was blowing in to right field really hard. There were a couple of collisions, but no one ever lost their temper or anything like that. I hope their catcher, it was Thomas, is okay. Can't remember his name, Thomas, but he had a big goose egg on his head immediately after a collision at home. So that was Sarah Riley, quote unquote. That was Sarah Riley from Post House. And then we got the man who is the orchestrator of that wonderful intro, Avery Brown. Yeah. Let's hear what he said for JD Shift, Drink Shift. Quote, we threatened most innings, but needed more multi-run innings. Late in the game, I had a collision at 3rd with Jake. Completely my fault. Ginger on ginger crime. Okay. Then Simon's knee and our backup catcher, Thomas's head, had a run in at the plate. Thomas doing fine. Overall, there are a lot of excellent defensive plays, and it was a fun game. Unquote. That was from Avery from JD Shift, Drink Shift.
I'm not a TikToker, but I've learned this week. You don't say ginger.
What?
Don't say ginger. You can say ginger.
No. I don't want to.
Get on TikTok. That's all I'm saying.
I don't do TikTok.
I
You're
don't
on
either.
TikTok,
but
Sean?
I'm not on TikTok,
Okay.
but this
I don't do
week was
TikTok.
lit.
Oh, okay.
Everybody's been showing me the TikToks.
Okay,
and
heck yeah.
All I know is I'm officially invited to the cookout. All I'm saying.
Screw TikTok. I don't.
YSC 5 at 7 p.m. R-Bar at the Rockets. And this was one of the games that I did ref. And like I said, I don't know what anyone's trying to say, but it was definitely a mutual decision on the field after the 7th for the teams in the game. So I'm just going to go ahead and call this for what it is. 13-2 final. R-Bar over the Rockets.
Yeah.
Cougar, you got some recaps
Well,
on
I got
there?
a recap from Mr. Wilson, the wrong spelling Sean, the Rockets.
Hey, he tries. I like
He
him.
tried. Okay, there you go. Quote, the win was real up for both teams. Spiked 2 of my balls into the fence and popped them wide open.
It within like the
Jesus.
first 2 innings, I think we went through like 3 balls.
That's crazy. Okay, continue. Kicks and long throws were hard to read. Shout out to the outfielders for being able to catch anything in that weather. We put together some decent defensive innings, and it fell apart in the 5th. Game was called after the 7th for rain, not for run rule, unquote. That was from Sean Wilson, the captain of the Rockets.
So that was, we're quoting the guy who lined his team up and said, touch hands after the 7th inning ended. That's the one who's now saying that it wasn't a run rule.
That's what he's saying.
Who
Yes.
had his team line up to shake hands. Okay, I just
Okay.
wanted to
I guess not.
get full
I guess
disclosure
not. I don't
here.
know. I don't know.
So this is the same Sean whose 3/4 of his team refused to come back out on the field if they were going to play? Yeah, it's the Rockets. Okay. No, Rockets played really well for the wind. The wind on that field was absolutely fucking brutal. A lot of errors, a lot of what I think probably would have been some pretty good kicks that were just wiped right off the board for both teams.
Sure.
Pretty expected result, in my opinion. I think maybe a little bit closer than I expected. But the weather definitely took its toll on the teams as it started to rain, because out there, by the end of the game, the rain was almost sideways. And cold.
Yeah.
Our bar, best wings in town.
Yeah, right here at
that's right.
610 Florida Street. The best wings in Lawrence, Kansas.
Do they have a fax number?
No fax number. No need for a fax number, Cougar. Your email's fucking enough to deal with. Good Lord.
Yeah.
AOL.
I have AOL.
I mean, you and dozens of other people have AOL.
I'm proud of AOL. We'll never give that up.
Yeah.
Never.
YSC 6 at 5 p.m. The LFK Rays 8. WOG 26. Notes. Run rule after 6 innings and 1 hour. WOG first. Mikey ground rule triple over the fence. 4th. Interference on the catcher on the runner. Morgan was awarded first base. Dustin home run in the 5th. And Mikey a home run inside the park.
Oh, he did? Oh,
He did.
former team of the Tropics. Good for him. I'm glad for Mikey, former Tropics.
Yeah, ground rule. I think a 3 RKI ground rule triple,
Yeah.
and then
Wow.
a 3 RKI home
Happy
run.
for Michael.
he
Happy
kicked
for him.
really well in that game.
Yep,
It was kind of insane.
Yeah. So what happened to Haley in that game?
Yeah, I mean, I do want to ask you why you never asked Bryson for his recap, Cougar, specifically.
Because Sean is right here.
Yeah, but Bryson wants to know why you didn't ask him
Because
specifically.
Sean is right here. Why would I ask anybody else for the
But
recap?
Because Bryson's takes are always the best, are they not?
Sean is right here.
We have Bryson acolyte over here.
No, yeah, I mean, I have to.
If Bryson went on a different team, if the captain would I ask for his recap? Sure. But Sean is right here.
Okay, whatever. I mean, I don't have much to say other than I think we played really well. We definitely got our legs going. My stepdad, Dustin Baxter, kicked really well in that game, and he definitely needed that pick-me-up. And I think going into next week after winning so well, we'll play a little better defensively. We made a few errors, but the wind, it was killer. I don't want to gas my own self up, but I did have 2 really good catches in left field. And Scott also had a sliding catch to barely pick it up off the ground, maybe an inch in center field. So that was super hype. That's really all my notes on that, though, other than you not asking Bryson.
Okay. I give you credit, you Haley. So you play left field, correct?
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes. That's the credit. It's like only a few ladies out there will play outfield and play well. Liv's being one of them. Becca did that as well. Liv from Global Cafe. Becca from Post House. There's others probably ladies who play outfield. I'm probably
LD
missing.
on the Growlers,
What's that?
can't forget her.
Yeah.
LD.
My co-captain on the
Dieter
Growlers.
plays outfield.
LD,
Yeah, Dieter does well. Yeah, so credit to those ladies that be at outfield because playing outfield in general, I don't know about you, for me, is terrifying.
It's the best place on earth.
Best place on earth?
I love playing in the outfield,
You?
being able to run around. That's what I did in softball for 17 years of my life. So it's
okay, there
definitely
you go. Okay,
where
that
I
makes
like
sense.
to live. But
Where you live? Okay.
Yeah.
You have 17 years experience playing
I
outfield.
gotta say, WOG, I don't have the stats in front of me, but they're probably the top scoring team in the league so far through 2 weeks because you guys put up
Yeah.
what?
I think we were top 3 last year. No,
I'll look, Haley. Were you 4? Okay.
But this year, 26, and then what'd you have in week 1? You had
Yeah.
17 or some shit like that?
16.
16?
16, yeah.
You got to be right up there then.
Yeah. No, the real story of the game, I think, from my standpoint, are 2 through 6 in the lineup. Kid went to bat 20 times and accounted for 2 outs.
Wow.
So that top just really getting us started. And then once you get down to our ladies, that spells disaster real quick. If you're not able to get through that top of the lineup real quick, and then after them coming up, they just came up and dominated.
I don't know how you feel, Sean, but I am very, very excited for this season, and I think we will play very well. As long as we stay a team and are supportive of each other, I think talking has been a big playing point for us to be successful. So,
undoubtedly. I mean, I think our standpoint last year was building something, starting something, and we got a real good foundation put together. Our aspirations after about 4 weeks immediately changed. We fell short of where we wanted to land last year.
You were better than 17th, weren't you?
Oh, yeah.
I thought that's where you wanted to land.
That was the beginning of the year, and our hopes adjusted. And I mean, we finished, according to Cougar, in 13. Was it 13 or?
In the RPI, let me look and see.
Yeah, somewhere close to that. But I feel like by the end of the year, we're going to be once again fighting to be, if not a top 10 team.
Arvell, what do you have them at?
That we're going to be fighting for the Twain again this year.
14th in RPI. Sorry.
I just want to shout out LFK Rays. Darren Jackson's on their team. He's one of the more underrated players in the league. And also my guy Dustin on We Own Ghost is a baller as well. And while I have the mic, I need to shout out Topher, who's the unofficial PR guy for KVKL. He makes all the cool designs for the league. He's a good guy. You ever
I
see
have
Topher
his
out?
sign at my house now.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Topher's that guy. Yeah, he will have no shoes on, no shirt, and a big smile, but he's that guy.
Cougar, you got a note here?
Got a note from Jesse from LFK Rays. Quote, it was windy as heck, but they were good sports even while getting the best of us. Plus, it was nice to seeing us get some ducks on the pond and across home plate. Fun game, even with the conditions, quote unquote. That was from Jesse from LFK Rays.
Yeah, I do want to say, like I said last week, I wasn't going to call for a shutout, didn't expect one, but a good showing at least right out of the gate for the Rays. They came out and at the top of the first inning, put up 3 runs on us, kind of let us know that they must have heard what I said, but they looked pretty good given the circumstances between the weather and who they had to play.
The buzzsaw that is WOG.
I'm just ready for our jerseys to get here.
And I repeat,
I saw it. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
What you said, Cougar. Haley's a hell of an outfielder. She has some good hands. Another baller for the KVKL League.
YSC 6 at 7 p.m. Lawrence Shirt Factory at Sacred Sword. And I'll have to pull
I think on Facebook they said it was like
score.
15 to 11, I want to say.
Sacred Sword 11, Shirt Factory 16, and Shirt Factory had scored 3 and more in the top of the 8th. So looking at that game, that would be 19-11 with no outs, or 1 out in the 8th. Trying to get it right there. Cougar, you got a recap for us?
Got a recap. This is from Brett from Lawrence Shirt Factory. Quote, crazy game with wind blowing directly out to right field. Forced both teams to adjust defenses to defend it. Welcome back Calvin, who came up huge with a grand slam and killed it at pitcher. We played Sword in the tourney last year and now this year, and both games have been really close throughout. These Swords are a solid squad and will only get better. I could easily see them being a top 8 team this year. That I would agree with about Sacred Sword being a top 8 team. More so than what did you say? Who did you say, Arvo?
Rollers, top 8 team.
And we'll get to that game a little bit later between those two. But
That top
Yeah,
eight's
Sacred-
got like 13 teams in it right now.
Yeah, what's that?
I said the top eight's got like 13 teams in it right now.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. But Sacred Sword, you had proof positive to you, Haley, and you, Sean, as well. Today, this is a good squad.
Yeah.
A really good talent they have. Now they're like third year into their youth movement, Sacred Sword. So, top 8 team, I can see it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that. Oh my goodness. Who plays outfield?
What?
The native kid who plays outfield.
Washi.
Oh, yeah, Washi. I think he
Andrew.
brought on his. I think it is his roommate, and they were playing. He was playing third against us, and they made some major adjustments. He's a good coach. I think he's able to communicate with his team, and they have some good team chemistry. And their pitcher Jocelyn is very impressive. She's very athletic. She makes good plays. So I think they're going to be someone we're looking out for the rest of the season. Don't count them out whatsoever.
Yeah. I got a recap from Josh Hunt, the captain of Sacred Sword. We were on quote, we are YC6, and the wind was roaring out to right field. In warm-up, a lot of balls were going out over the fence and right. Unfortunately, with it being graduation weekend, we're missing 5 folks that could have helped us take advantage of the wind. I'm injured awaiting surgery, so not playing this season, but we were so short, I had to play or we would have been down 6 guys. Oh, Jesus. As expected, Shirt played smart, kicking well, and strong on defense. I think we gave up 5 runs in the first inning and think we evened up somewhere in 4th or 5th inning, but we were moving runners and kicking them home as they do. I think the score at the end, last full inning before they called the weather, was 16-11. Hoping we get to see them again later this season. Always a fun one. I think our scorecard said visitor, we were home. Oh, never mind. Who cares about that? Yeah, someone like Shirt Factory, Arvel, like between Shirt Factory and Toe Pokes, you're insane. No, Shirt Factory's a better team than Toe Pokes there. Like, they get the top 4. You're insane.
No, they're not.
You
Post House lost to Shirt Factory.
Arvel, you're barking up the wrong tree here.
Cougar won't
stand
forward.
All I'm saying is I have a different angle on this table from everyone else, and Cougar has a full-on halfie right now thinking about Shirt Factory.
Really?
He's like, oh, take me back to the glory days.
I will say, though, Shirt Factory has done about as good of a job as anybody ever of bridging one generation to the next. I mean, they never like fell on hard time. Like, Sword used to be really good, and then Sword was like in the 20s for a while, and now they're on the way back. Like, Shirt Factory stayed top, I don't know, 8 consistently,
top 10.
top 7, yeah. And now they have this whole new batch of kids. Obviously, they got the Chen Hall brothers. Like, they're not going to go anywhere for a while. It's impressive.
No.
Well, and I think Sacred Sword, like, their biggest thing is they brought in a bunch of people who already knew each other, and that combination of just kids who grew up with each other is really detrimental to teams.
And I think they supplemented with some veterans this offseason, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't Marisa play on
Marisa
Sword?
and Alicia from Rick Rollers are now on
Rick
Sacred
Rollers?
Sword, correct.
And does John Sloan play on Rick Rollers now, too? No? Okay.
No.
Never mind. I thought I heard that preseason.
No.
No, I don't think he's there.
I don't think he's playing at all.
this year.
I don't think he's playing this year.
You just bought a house. Congrats, John.
Oh, yeah, did he? Oh,
Yeah, he
congrats,
did.
Yeah.
And he's a great artist. Woohoo.
I don't know about the girl he's dating, though. She's kind of weird.
Oh, dear.
It's Corinne's sister.
Oh, dear. Sorry.
Low-hanging fruit.
Oh, dear.
YSC 7 at 5 p.m. Harpies 9. The Woost 7. Notes on this game. A wonderful game. Wind. Ugh.
Here's
glad
Jeff from
Hey.
Woost.
He's on Smoko. So leave him alone.
Here's Jeffrey.
Hey, I'm Jeff, and I like to party. I mean, first of all, I just want to say how thankful I am to both play and captain for the Woost. I know on the Facebook we were talking about if we're ranking off of vibes. Woost is top 3, and it's not even close if we're talking vibes in the league. So I love playing for everybody and with everybody. We were right there with Harpies. We actually had a chance in the bottom of the 9th to walk them off, which would have been what we did to Free State last year in week 2. So I was a little bummed that we couldn't make that happen. We had runners on 2nd and 3rd with 2 outs to go. Just couldn't get that kick over shortstop's head to drive those runners in and tie the game up. Harpies are good. I actually think personally, and granted I'm biased, it's easy to say, I think this says more about where Woost is this year than it does Harpies. They played a really good game. We actually were up on them through 5 or 6, and then I think the 7th inning they scored 4 runs on us, and we just couldn't keep up after that. But it was great to have a rivalry renewed. My first few years in the league, which is damn near 10 years ago now, we played Harpies every single year. It was always a lot of fun to play them. We haven't played them in like 3 or 4 seasons, so we have some new people on the team who haven't ever played the Harpies, and we used to play them every single year, Brunch Wars. So,
And I just realized it is the battle of the breakfast places.
It's-
Woost and Ladybird.
well, it's not Ladybird anymore. Actually, they're
Is it not? Oh.
It's Mass Street Fish House. I made that mistake
Master Fish,
earlier.
okay, my mistake. Sorry.
So I guess
mistake. Sorry.
Mass Street Restaurants. I don't know, but it was a great game.
My mistake.
I love playing with the Woost. That's right. The melee on Mass Street. That
Where's
wasn't
no
mine.
melee on Mass
but
Street? Like Free State, Woost and Mass Street.
There's a lot of.
Red Lion. What other places on Mass Street there? My goodness.
Well, are the ghosts still merchants or no? Or tellers?
Are they still tellers, ghosts? No.
Okay.
I don't know.
Way back.
Yeah. There's so many like melees on Mass Street. My goodness.
Yeah, we could have a whole division of Mass Street teams if we ever go to
much.
divisions board. All right, that's all I got to say. Love you guys. Bye.
Thank
I
you,
gotta
Jeff.
say, Woost in week 2, we got to put them up against like Johnny's next year and see what they can do. They're magic in week 2. It seems like really good result for the Woost. Honestly, I wasn't expecting it to be that close. I think when you guys were calling spreads on the podcast last week, I think you said you guys were going to win by 1 or 2. Yeah. So, and I was like, oh, Jeff, he's kind of, I don't know, I'm not sure. And he was right. You're right there. So super impressive from the Woost, and obviously good job by the Harpies getting the win.
Yeah, I think this shows growth from both teams for sure. They both added some people, changed some things around. So it'll be exciting to see what Harpies and Woos do this year. The Woos were kind of good last year, so.
Yeah. Welcome back, Max Alvers, as well. We're so thankful that you're healthy. You kicked really well.
Is he back?
Yeah. Fuck you.
Oh,
but welcome back.
good. That's great to hear. Fantastic to hear, Max. Absolutely.
You got some notes on that, Cougar?
No.
I did get a note here on the sponsorship of the Ghosts. It says they have a couple sponsors, but only one owner.
God. Oh my gosh. And those jerseys, I saw them. Oh my goodness.
We've been hearing about them. It's week 3. Let's get them out on
I
the
saw
fields.
them, Seth. I'm like, oh my word.
I'll show you.
Oh,
Just
my
renderings at this point. They got to be
dear,
real
dear,
life.
dear, dear.
What? Hey, tariffs, man. Fucking, we had to have adults make our jerseys this year, okay?
And they're, oh, gee.
Hey,
Fucking good.
my people know about that, okay? So it's okay. It's okay.
He speaks for his people.
I speak for my people, okay?
Oh, my God.
How do you think I got in this country? No,
Delegation
not
from
true.
South Korea.
You were born here.
I was born here. It's true. The others, maybe not.
Oh my! Speaking of the Ghost, YSC 7 at 7 p.m. First responders at the Ghost, and this one only made it 4 innings. And let's see here: first responders 2, Ghosts 4.
I have a small note about this game. Chris Robinson, the captain of the first... No, he's not a captain. I'm sorry. He just plays for first responder. His brother Kevin's captain. Quote, very fun, close game. Suspend the 4th inning for weather with first responder leading 5-4. That was it.
That's some in-depth notes.
How did
Very
they
good,
only get through 4 innings if it was 5-4?
That's a good question. I don't know.
There were
4-2.
There were full games that went on.
I don't know how they got only 4
it was
innings. I don't
4-2.
know.
You're right. So now it looks like this is where it stretched in the 4th when the first responders were up. They put 3 on the board before recording an out, and then loaded the bases up again when the game was stopped.
Are the first responder new this year?
Yeah, they're new team.
Okay,
Yeah.
I thought so. I wasn't sure if they took on another.
They
team's
took his
name.
place of Asteroid Head, who's no longer on the list.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay.
So not a lot of no real notes on
No.
this. Cougar, do you have any notes on it?
Do we know where the kindness cooler went?
I don't know who has it.
Because we need to give it to the first responders. Those guys are so nice.
Yeah. I don't know who has kind of cool.
If we could find the kindness cooler, let's give it to first responders. They
Yeah.
seem
I
like
don't
a
know who
very
has it.
genuine, nice team.
Yeah. I don't know who has it now.
So I know we'll be looking forward to hearing when that game's going to get finished and completed.
So we didn't get a comment from Katie Keating though.
Oh,
I was gonna say how did
I
she?
got something.
Okay,
I got something.
okay.
It's not much. Should I read this?
Yeah, read it.
Here's what Katie said. Quote from Katie Keating: "We didn't finish. Only got to the bottom fourth. Not much to say." That's really what she said. There's also another paragraph, but I don't know if I should read that. No personality. No, I'll be like Ben Stein. I'll just be very monotone. Okay. You kids have no idea who Ben Stein is, wouldn't you?
I would like to have won his money.
Oh, I would love to win Ben Stein's money. Absolutely.
I will tell you, I am old enough that Ben Stein is the reason that I exclusively used Visine for eye relief.
No, it's Clear Eyes.
Well, no, I know. I did not buy whatever he was putting in
It was
his eyes.
Clear Eyes he did, but you were
fucker wore
Visine.
glasses.
Oh,
I'm supposed to take vision advice from a man who can't see? No, absolutely not. Okay. YSC 8 at 5 p.m. Invictus Fitness 17. The Honey Badgers 8.
Guess who called the spread on this one?
Yes,
This guy.
you did. Yes, you did.
Yeah, you did. I thought you were crazy.
Well, dumb crazy.
Would you pick it? Was it 9?
It was Victor's by 9. I did, yeah.
God.
And
have
Kenny
what
said he
everyone
was
else
going to
picked?
fucking kill you because of it, and now he's
Yeah,
not
he
here
did.
today.
And now Kenny's not here.
No, I have them all, yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
we have.
I have some of them.
Kenny sent a proxy
Kenny's
today.
sending-
Oh.
He was tired of
Oh,
hearing
dear.
Cougar read his recap.
Here's
so he
Ashley
did
from
the
Honey
smart
Badgers. Here's Ashley from Honey Badgers.
All right, so what I'm going to lead off with is what I was told to say is Kenny is the toughest motherfucker in the league because him and Eric.
Here we go.
Well, him and Eric, our catcher, had quite the collision in which Kenny said he felt his soul leave his body, and I was playing second base, and I will say I heard Kenny's soul leave his body, and he stayed on the field, finished the inning, and honestly, I think this was a really good game, really close through 5. We only gave him a couple good innings, and there's so much stuff that we know we can work on, and we still have, this is my first year on the team. We have a few other people who it's their first year on the team, and I can say this is the most fun I've had playing KVKL. Even when we were losing, everyone's still hype, pumping each other up, and I think the next week is going to be a really good tell of how our season's going to go, playing against Love Garden.
Would you say to yourself, Ashley, that you're the best lady free agent this offseason? Want to say it?
I'm
There's
not
two
going
other
to say
ladies
that.
who disagree with you, maybe. There's two other ladies who might disagree with you about that.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think there's a lot of good ladies in the league, and
Oh, free agent ladies.
I'll let my play speak for itself. I'm not going to say that about myself.
Who's your guys'
No. I have been playing well, though.
Who's the fast lady on your team? I think she busts 2 or 3.
Oh, Alaya.
Alaya.
Yeah, shout out to her.
Alaya is great.
I love Alaya. Alaya, she's
Also,
awesome.
Alaya and I figured out we played travel
is really
softball
fast.
against each other growing up
Yep.
a lot, and yeah.
Yep, another badass lady. She's
I'm a
fast.
huge fan of Alaya.
No, yeah, I
She's
will say
awesome.
though, the Honey Badgers do have badass ladies this year. So
So does Empire.
Thank you, Ashley.
One thing that I noticed looking at this score sheet, looking at Invictus, Lou has probably batted 3 or 4 for KTC, whoever, for a decade.
Yeah.
And he's batting 5 now. They got Pat Watkins kicking 4. And we talk all the time about best free agent pickup, blah, 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 blah. Isaac, obviously. Pat going to Invictus might
Pat might be up
swing,
there, yeah.
might swing the whole league. If you can have 2, there's not very many teams in this league that have 2 power kickers. Post House probably does, but other than that, Invictus probably has the best power legs now.
They might. Yeah, I mean that's a huge pickup there in Invictus Fitness. Especially losing in the final 2 years in a row to Johnny. So yeah, might be huge. I got a summary from Lou from Invictus Fitness. Quote: wind blowing out to right, lots of tough plays in the right field. Badgers were ahead early and scored a bunch at the top of the ninth. Kenny Eric for Badgers got a loud collision going for a bunt. Kenny got the worst of it. Hopefully he's feeling better, quote unquote. That's from Lou from Invictus Fitness. So, yeah.
YSC 8 at 7 p.m. Another incompleted game. The Gators at the Soda Jerks. And that is the last. Let's see here. The Gators had 10 in the 6th. And the Jerks had 14. So 14-10 with 6 completed. Cougar, you got some notes?
I do. First from Joe Scholes from Gators. Quote, we were playing well considering weather conditions. Played with 3 players who had never played before due to injuries and excused absences. Also, no John Matthews to lead off. Oh, that's huge. Definitely would have won if the game didn't get called. Julie at second made amazing catches, and she kicked perfectly. A lot of folks on both sides made great plays. I think Gator runners got hit 3 times with a step of home plate. Jesus. Sorry. Gotta send them, but can't do anything about 15 to 20-foot throws that are on target. Wow, that's pretty impressive by Soda Jerks to get 3 runs, pegged before they hit home plate. So there's that. And I got a note from Derek Davis as well from Soda Jerks. Quote, we might have the only field on the back 8 that had to win out that was to right field. Both teams were bombing them to right. Both teams struggled to win defensively. It was a fun kick fest. My ladies played in the outfield and did great. Oh, wow. And Gators were some classy sons of bitches. I hope they play to play them again, unquote. So that's Derek Davis from Soda Jerks. So again, another ladies that's playing down in the outfield. That's impressive. Yeah. So playing.
Moving on to Hobbs Park, sponsored by Thrivent Financial Field of Brandon Shreve at 7 p.m. Corksuckers 10, Recess Rejects 4. And this one had no notes, no score sheet.
I got no summaries, so I tried.
And nobody saw it.
So it didn't happen? It didn't happen. No, it didn't.
Corksuckers 2-0. 2 games in a row at Hobbs?
2 games in a row, Hobbs, yeah. Yeah. So
The only thing I'll say is Corksuckers are really fun to watch. I think that they always have so much fun, and even though they are on a winning streak, so of course that's fun. I think even when they are going through a moment, they seem to be just so joyous, and I love to see that. Their ladies and their men are just great people all around.
And yeah, good little start by Corksuckers. Like I said, like a mini upset win over Midnight Tokers in the game of the week. Last week, 10-4 over Recess Rejects. Maybe not a huge surprise, but both the win and the winning margin there. So good Corksuckers. They've always been a solid veteran team who just always steady. Here's Brooks.
What I am going to say about Recess Rejects, we played them week 1. They were a very different team from last year. They've brought in so Kendrick, I think, has played with them in the past. He played some in Arizona. He was playing third base for them. It's just eating our team alive week 1. So I think probably I only recognized maybe 3 or 4 people on Recess Rejects from last year, the game we played against them. So they're a pretty different team, and they've got some guys who can freaking kick. So they're not an easy out for anyone.
Yeah, there's another team you mentioned that they've basically retooled their roster, Brooks. I know there's like a couple teams in the league that done that to just totally retool their roster there. So good for them. Yeah. So.
And the unplayed Hobbs Park, sponsored by Thrivent Financial, Brandon Shreve Field at 9:15 p.m. Screamers at D-Holes, to be played at a later date. Someday.
I am sad that we didn't get to see this game because we can't scout them for our game next week, but it is what it is. I'm excited to see when it's rescheduled.
Sorry. There. So, once again, a big thank you to our host here tonight, R-Bar, right here at 610 Florida Street. And not to be forgotten at all, rather shouted from the mountaintops, the Week 2 recap here is sponsored by Busker Fest. Busker Fest is this coming weekend, Friday through Sunday, the 23rd through the 25th. You should head to downtown Lawrence this weekend for the annual Busker Festival, sponsored by Free State Brewery. It's 3 days of wild, weird, and world-class street performers, and totally free to attend. Don't forget to swing by the Free State tent for a beer. because 100% of the tips collected by kickballers this weekend will go straight back to the charity, which we're splitting between two this year, one being Lawrence Pride and the second being the Willow Domestic Violence Center.
Shout out to the kickballers for staffing these tents. Last year and the past couple of years, it's only been one tent. This year, we had to split it up for permitting reasons, and so double the effort. But I think every year we've done it, we've brought in over $2,000 for the league. I think it's probably one of the biggest money makers of the year. So Free State is obviously very appreciative, and it's a partnership that we want to continue for as long as the kickballers are down to work for free and drink a couple beers along the way.
Indeed. So now we're going to move on to the Week 3 matchups, May 25th. Starting off on Invictus Fitness Field, YSC 1 at 5 p.m., our first pick'em game, Global Cafe at Johnny's.
Who wants to go first?
Arvell does.
I will.
He said they're both top 10 teams.
Johnny's is number 1, but I want to call out Johnny's real quick.
Oh, Jesus!
Oh, boy.
Next year's pool tournament at Empire for charity, I want Johnny's to bring the top 4 pool players to Empire, and the winner gets Zach. If Johnny's beats us, I will provide water and Gatorade for them for the rest of the year, for the whole next year.
That's not a very fair trade-off.
They get Gatorade and water every Sunday on
Water and
us.
Gatorade for Zach?
But if we win, we get Zach for 1 year.
Zach will pay you in beer.
It's for charity.
It's for charity.
That's our offer. But
It's for pool?
For pool, yeah.
For pool,
the charity pool tournament at Empire.
Oh, okay.
I want them to bring the best 4 pool players, and we will bring our best 4, and the winner gets Zach. If they beat us, I will provide Gatorade and water.
Not KVKL for pool. Okay. Make sure. Okay, let me make sure.
But anyway,
okay.
So who are you picking?
Johnny's is going to win. They're going to get by 7.
Oh,
no, it's not
even.
spread. It's not spread.
No,
Okay.
no spread.
No
game.
spread. No spread.
You don't have to spread them till after dinner.
But yeah, any players on Johnny's, please at me about this deal. Please, I'm serious. We will play you for Zach.
For pool, not KVKL.
In pool. Okay. Duly noted.
Yep.
Haley,
Who's next?
you want to go next?
Yeah, I sure will. I'm choosing global. I think the addition of Marcus is insane. There is not a single ball that's being thrown to first that he is not snatching out of the air. So I think the addition of Marcus has really elevated them in that way. So I think they can make a run for their money. And yeah.
Johnny's is the 2-time defending champion. I think they've lost 1 or 2 games in the past 2 years.
Yeah. 1 game each season.
Yeah. 1 game each season.
One game
Who did they lose to last year?
Last year was Global Cafe. 2 years ago it was actually Lawrence Shore Factory.
Yeah. So, and I think that one was on grass.
It was on grass.
Yeah. So they've lost 1 game on dirt in the last 2 years, and it was to Global. However, as big of an addition as Marcus is, Global lost Isaac, and that's a tough loss. I think Johnny's is going to win this game. They don't have a chip on their shoulder against a lot of teams, but they obviously have to have one against Global, so they're going to go out and probably win it this week.
Yeah. Cougar short and sweet. I'm going to go with Johnny's back-to-back defending champs. I think that, everyone in the top echelon or at least the top 13, top 8 teams have really tough schedules, but it's nothing that either of these teams really need to worry about other than game planning. And I think when it comes down to game planning, Johnny's has that edge.
Yeah, the losses they had, like the Surf Factory, like 2 years ago, last year against Global Cafe, they were like mid to later in the season. I don't see normally maybe I pick Global, but I don't see them like losing an early season game. Johnny's, I don't. I will say this. What's funny about Johnny, we talked about, you just mentioned this, that they've never had an undefeated season in those 2 championship seasons. Not a single one, which I believe that will not happen. I will count this regular season unscathed. I don't think they will. It's too hard. That being said, yeah, I agree. I think they're going to beat Global. Yeah. Yeah.
Fair enough. Invictus Fitness Field, YSC 1 at 7 p.m. Invictus Fitness at Post House.
The away team playing on their own field, huh?
Yeah.
Kind of tough.
By the way, last year, guess who won between Post House and Invictus Fitness?
Who?
It was actually Post House. They won 5-2 in week 8. So,
Dude, YSC won. We just need like a live cam on that
oh geez,
for the entire day on Sunday. That's an amazing. That's like a Final Four matchup right there.
It is. And of course, Post House, losing week 1 to Lawrence Shirt Factory, trying to get back on track. And I know they beat JED drink shift, but still, should be a good game between Invictus Fitness and Post House. Again, this is the repeat of the greatest championship game of all time, 2017. My goodness, it was so epic.
Was
awesome.
that an extra innings game?
It was extra innings. Lou kicked for the cycle.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. It was Blake Freeman had an unbelievable diving double play, catch and throw to get Alex out at first base. It was unbelievable.
I love that you remember that.
What's that?
I love that you remember
He'll
that.
never forget it.
Yeah. It's that memorable of a championship game. It was
No,
that
yeah,
awesome.
I
Haley,
totally agree.
that's-
I just love that you remember
Yeah,
that.
Before Marcus recorded all the games, we had to rely on our memory. And you remember like
Yeah.
one play per season, basically.
Yeah, I don't have to worry about that.
I don't
so.
think there's any coincidence that once all the games started getting recording, Cougar accidentally lost all the annals of history. So now that we're forced to lean on our elder
I know.
to relay the stories of yesteryear.
The oral tradition of
Kids,
KVKL.
Whatever you do, don't put your jump drive in your shorts and put it in the washer. Please don't do
Cougar,
that.
I don't put my junk in the washer. I put it in the shower or the bath. Come on, man.
I'm still mourning after that loss of that jump drive. R.I.P.
Why? Oh, God. YSC 2 at 5 p.m. The first responders at Recess Rejects.
Could this be the first
booze.
game of a win for first responders? Could this be it?
I don't know, man. Rejects results have been pretty impressive.
Yeah, they did beat Ringers by a lot. Week 1.
That was week 1. I don't know if this is going to be really a good game to get that first win in.
No, probably not.
Especially with the way that the Rejects have played the last 2 weeks. But it'll be a good test to see how far they've come in the last couple games, especially getting that truncated 4 innings in. So maybe first responders are going to get together, have a little fire pit, make some bacon and eggs, and get a plan together for the Rejects. We'll find out on Sunday. YSC 2 at 7 p.m. The Goose at the Corksuckers.
This is an old school game.
Yeah, old school game.
Week 8 last year, Ghost actually clipped Corksuckers by a score of 11-9. So
I think this game will be very competitive, especially with the changes that they've made on Ghosts this year. And I think it'll tell us exactly what Corksuckers are planning on doing with their 2 wins at the beginning of the season, telling us where we are.
Yeah, I think Corksucker is about to be 3-0, riding high. Did Clint stack the schedule in his favor? What's going on?
Of course he did.
Yeah,
What do you
seems
mean?
like
It's Clint.
2 Hobbs games to start, and then you get to play the
should I
Ghost.
poke the bear? Okay, hold on, because I know he's going to listen. So are you saying that Clint is going to stack his schedule and then maybe bounce like?
Where's he
former
bouncing
board-
to?
I don't know. He could bounce like a former board member.
Oh, he's going to
Like
go.
David Shipley?
He's going to go.
I had to poke the bear. I've been waiting all week for him to yell at me, and he never yelled at me. So I've got to get him out of the bushes. No, I'm just giving everyone shit.
No way. Clint is an upstanding gentleman, and he works at a place that sells a shit ton of Free State beer. So I would never accuse him of anything.
No.
Nope. We need you, Clint.
No, I'm really excited. I really, really, really hope this game is recorded. Because
that'd be a fun one.
I want to check this out. I know Katie kind of talked about it last week, but with the turnover and the changes that they've had on the Ghost, with a lot of teams, that could be a death knell. And it really hasn't been for them so far. The cohesion that they're playing with, and the I hate to say old school, but just the total, show up, have a blast, but also win. That
Steal a
mentality's
flag.
back for them. Yeah.
Cause a little shit.
Get an IFU, maybe.
Whatever.
I mean, you get a couple.
Yeah.
If you're not catching one, what's the point?
Burn one early and
Yeah,
then see how the rest of the
burn
season
it.
goes.
Just burn it. Sometimes it's worth it, especially if you're right. Never know. YSC 3 at 5 p.m. Love Garden at the Honey Badgers.
Ooh, man. Should be interesting about Love Garden because, like I said, these first 2 weeks have been pretty rough.
When is the last time Love Garden was 0-2?
0-2?
With staring down the barrel of 0-3.
Yeah.
That is...
And I think that's the reality of this.
Yeah.
Right now, at this point in the season,
Yeah.
the Badgers are really good and hungry, and Love Garden seems to be on a downward trend.
I don't know. I think Love Garden will come into this game with a chip on their shoulder. They'll look at Honey Badgers and not to speak on something that I don't particularly know on, but I think Love Garden will look down on them and maybe come out with some fire under their ass. And the Honey Badgers are very, very good, but if they fall apart, I think it could be detrimental to them.
Yeah, and not to short sell Love Garden at all.
No,
They have
no,
some
I didn't
Great veteran leadership, so it's not like this is going to be any sort of lopsided.
I think it'll either be a blowout or it'll be super close.
Yeah,
it's
two-run
one or
game
the
or
other.
a 9,
Like Badgers
8+.
blow them out or Love Garden wins close? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, definitely.
Just better hope that Love Garden plays defense because this first 2 games,
Yeah.
21 first game, 22 the second game.
They got to get Rob Z's ass out there. Play a little defense.
You need to start snatching.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
YSC 3 at 7 p.m. Our next pick'em game, Rick Rollers at Sacred Sword.
Is that a
all
Twain?
right? I
This
asked
is a
once.
rematch of Twain.
I
correct.
asked once. The only thing I'm picking right now is, please God, just lay down in the field. Just
Here we go.
Wait, I
again.
have Stephen.
Rollers would love it.
Here we go.
Rollers
again.
would love it. It'd motivate
Here
both
we
teams.
go
I
again.
think they're both going to come out
Yeah,
looking ready to fight.
if Sword's
What
really
a
about
better
that
team.
life,
Yeah.
lay down when
But-
Malloy's up to bat.
Yeah.
See what happens.
And who's the team that
Prove
they
a point.
And who's the team they laid down against there, Sean?
Rick Rollers.
No.
No. The host.
Oh, yeah.
Our
bar.
worst.
It was our bar,
Our
and
bar's
it
tie-in
was
of all
awful.
It was.
They did not
Stephen,
lay
we're
down
talking
right
to
here
you.
at 610 Florida Street.
That's right. Those two have a contentious relation. Our bar and Sacred Sword. Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, boy. Yeah.
they have a very contentious relationship, just like our bar and the Heat.
God.
Or a tough playoff schedule.
God. Oh God.
People don't forget.
Dear.
People don't forget.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So who are you picking, Sean?
I am going to pick Rollers in this game. I think Sword is very, very good, but I think, especially after this loss last week, that
Speaking
the
of-
Rollers are going to have a lot to prove the next 3 games
Yeah.
because they have a very, very tough schedule upcoming, and you don't want to start it with a loss to Sword because it's only going to get harder from there.
And they're already 0-2, right?
Yeah.
Rollers?
Correct.
That is
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah. Sorry. You mentioned the schedule. Rick Roller's schedule. Here's what it is.
Yeah.
Sacred Sword, Empire, Johnny's, JDE, and then Soda Jerks, Toe Pokes, Love Guard. So it's a little tough. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So they could be staring down the barrel of 1-4.
Yeah.
Could be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That they put what does it say on the back of their jerseys here? I think it says "We not me."
Yes.
Yeah, that's really going to
And
test
that-
"We
and-
not me" if you're 1-4.
Yeah.
And that's a Malloy. That's
Yeah.
Who are y'all picking?
Go ahead.
I'll go
You
ahead.
got it, Coog.
Last year, there's a lot of games I picked against Rick Rollers, which I was wrong. I think one time I picked against right. So I won't make that mistake. Just out of fear. I don't know. Rick Rollers. Sure.
Okay, I am also going Rick Rollers. I think Sacred Sword definitely will give them a run for their money, but as long as Rick Rollers doesn't have a single bad inning, God forbid, I think they will definitely, come out with that win.
Top 8 Rollers.
Here we go. Top 8 Rollers. Here we go.
I watched that Rollers tape against Global, and granted, they're playing against Global, but Rollers were moving their players around on defense a lot, and for some teams that does work, but you have to have played together for a long time to do stuff like that, and I think you're breaking in a handful of new players and you're asking them to do different things on every single play. Small mistakes lose games, like close games in the top 12. And if you're asking people to do things that they have never done before, and granted, it's only week 3. Like, if you're going to commit to that strategy, commit to it and do it all season long. But I think it might cost you a couple games early in the season. So I'm going to go with Sword. They want a little revenge, obviously, off of the Twain last year. And Rollers, we got to see them win a game.
Yeah.
With that cohesion and being able to not having to move around, be a loss or whatever it was this week in their abridged game, but not having 5 players that played week 1, then almost an entire different lineup week 2, and then now you're going to go back to week 1 maybe with a mixture 3 weeks, 3 lineups. That's going to be real tough for Sword to come out and just put their foot on the gas and not look back, especially defensively, I think. Because Rollers aren't a team that are going to make a lot of defensive errors if, in this type of game.
Yeah.
But they're going to be ones that capitalize on offense.
Was it Washington mentioned last week they're playing with a basically totally new defense this year than last year, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
What was the change?
They've rotated players to different positions.
Okay.
And then brought in some new kids.
Yeah.
I'm young adults.
They're kids. They can't run. They can't run a car. Are you kidding me? They're not 25.
I think this will be a runoff. It'll definitely be
yeah.
who can run around the bases the most, for sure.
YSC 4 at 5 p.m. The Midnight Tokers at Red Lion.
So those that smoke weed and versus the drunks. Is that what it is? Tokers versus drunks.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to marginalize 2 teams,
sure.
I'm taking the potheads. It's not a pick 'em, but if you're marginalizing,
This is a classic old versus young, right?
Yeah.
Tokers are new to the league, seemingly pretty young. Lion is, we know who they are.
And it's because of hamstring injury. My guess is that Jackson's still going to sit out another week. So those hamstring injuries probably going to take a while. So
yeah,
no, I would still take Tokers because I know with the wind out there against the Ringers, watching them ref there, like the defense wasn't that impressive.
It's really. 5 o'clock game too.
You said Tokers defense wasn't that impressive?
No. The red line defense wasn't that impressive against Ringers. No disrespect to the Ringers how they kicked, but just watching them on it's like the hardly any bench players like I don't know. Yeah.
YSC 4 at 7 p.m. The Toe Pokes at JDE Shift. Drink Shift.
This is a decent game. This is a test for Toe Pokes, isn't it?
Yeah. Toe Pokes, week 1, they started with us. Week 2, they played Love Garden. Week 3, they're playing shit. Like, they're just climbing the ladder. They're just, like, the next level's in front of them.
All the way to the top 4.
Yeah, keep going.
Here you go again. You and your Toe Pokes top 4.
I don't think it's the hottest take ever to say a team with Isaac is top 4. Like, people are giving you a hard time, but he's one of the best players in the league. Yeah.
And they added Willis, who's a very underrated, and I believe Julia is their captain.
Yeah.
Lady captain. Yep. I'm telling you guys right now, that is the secret sauce to have a lady captain lead your team. Toe Pokes top 4.
This might be the best game of the entire week. I'm surprised it's not a pick 'em, honestly.
Yeah.
Cougar.
JD Shift looking for their first win of the season. So yeah. So
no, they won week 1, didn't they?
They didn't. No, they lost at Global Cafe. For week 1.
So they played Global and then
Post House. Yes.
Post House.
Correct. Yeah. Who was right?
Don't be the 7th ranked team, kids.
Yeah,
it's not fun.
Yeah. So
top 8's crowded.
Yeah.
With Rick Rollers right there, Arvell. Jesus.
Rollers top 8.
Gosh.
YSC 5 at 5 p.m. Our final pick'em and spread game. The D-Holes at Wall.
Haley, Sean, you're last.
Okay.
Who wants to go first? Arvell, Seth, myself. Who wants to go?
I'm going to go with We Own Ghost.
By how many runs there, Arvell?
By 4. Shout out to Sean. just being a passionate player, KVKL. Seriously, when I first started playing for Empire, he was on Poshwash and he made the coolest skit about us being dark side. It was fun, and he's a very knowledgeable of the game. Red Sox fan, unfortunately. Go Cardinals! But I just want to shout out Sean and you. You guys do this every Tuesday. Look forward to doing it. I love you guys' passion, and I love your knowledge. And I got to go with we don't go beating D-holes
By 4.
by 4.
Okay. So, Seth?
Here we go.
No, D-holes didn't play last week, right?
Correct, because of the postponed game of the week against Screamers.
PPD'd.
PPD. If there's a team that could benefit from a week off, I don't even care if it's week 2. It's D-holes, man. They're fresh. They're not sore. They didn't wake up sore on Monday morning at all. So they're going to be coming in, obviously ready. I think this is just another classic like KVKL matchup. D-holes, you know exactly what you're going to get every single time. WOG, I don't know if WOG knows what they're going to get every time. Maybe they do. Maybe they're going to get a lot of offense and most defense in the league. But D-holes, I don't know, man. I feel like they're good. We've called him the gatekeeper for a long time. And WOG is trying to knock down that door to top, what do I want to say, 13, top 14, something. And D-holes are holding them out. I think D-holes probably win this game by 3.
Week 10, D-holes versus, it was then Cyport CBK, and D-holes won that game 8-1. So,
whoa.
Yeah, so.
1 run?
8-1. 8-1. Only allowed 1 run to then Cyport CPK.
Wow.
So I know you got new players.
5 in the 7th.
5 in the 7th. Okay. I know you got new players like WOG has, and they got potential. But I'm gonna go with the steadiness of D-holes. But it's gonna be a very close game. D-holes by 1. D-holes by 1.
Sean, go ahead, because I need a second.
Sean is melting down over there.
Oh no.
So last year, Mr. Dover, one of the league's most debonair farmers, begged to get to play Cyport. Back in the day, we were those 2 teams that were right there with Free State.
Oh, yeah.
11, 12, 13, 10, 11, 12, 9, 10, 11, every single year. And for a while, we didn't get to play them. And I was really excited to play them last year. It was a good, close game. Unfortunately, Alex got injured. I got injured. We had another injury in the game and folded like a cheap deck of cards in the 7th and 8th inning. That ain't going to fucking happen this year. I'm really looking forward to playing the D-holes. I still consider them the gatekeepers to the top 10. Especially, I mean, shit, at this point, they're gatekeepers to the top 8. Why not have all 15 of us up there?
Shout out Arbel.
But no, like
I'm going to go home and post Arbel's
I'm really
top 8.
looking forward to this game.
17 deep.
This is one of the games that when the schedule was released, when it was finalized, I've had circled. I know Bryson's had circled. We don't need to give anybody any sort of bulletin board material. They know what they're getting. We know what we're getting. And it's going to be a fun, fast, loud game on Sunday. And the only thing that will be able to stop that from happening is Mother Nature herself. WOG by 1,000,000.
WOG by 1,000,000.
But for posterity's sake, we'll say 3. I want Arvel to be on top. I told him he didn't have to take it off till after dinner, so now he gets to be the big spoon.
What? Haley, I don't know how you follow that.
Okay,
Go
well,
ahead.
I mean, I can follow it very easily. I think that, we're going to win by 2. I'd say by 2. I don't think that we should take into account last year's game very much, just because and I'm not making excuses, don't take it as that, but we were missing some of our key players. We came out hot, but we had a very, very bad inning, and it just, deck of cards, just like Sean said. I think this year we've made some adjustments, we've made some changes, and I don't think they're going to eat us up in the outfield like they did last year. So I think we're coming out on top on that. We're going to eat up the third baseman, first baseman, coming out hot.
So how much are you going to win by?
2.
She said 2.
Two. Yeah, two.
I wrote down.
Fair enough. Panel swings our way. That's all I know.
I still don't know how the reffing works. Are we reffing that game?
I hope so.
No, it's going to
I
be
sure hope so.
YSC 6. So is it Beavers Gators?
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Put on your big boy, big
Oh,
girl,
boy,
big
oh,
they
boy,
them
oh,
pants.
The ball
Because
Beavers Gators.
Let
Oh,
me
dear.
tell you
Oh, dear.
something. I don't want no half-assed reffing. You're going to need to bring your A game, guys. But the good thing is I know other Sean, the other one who doesn't know how to spell's on the Gators. So
Donnelly for
at
Gators.
least, it won't be the blind leading the blind. YSC 5 at 7 p.m. Lawrence Free State at the Harpies.
What is Lawrence Free State?
Why say Lawrence Free State?
Because I just... what the hell?
Free State Brewery.
Free State Brewery.
Free State Brewery.
We're not a high school, dude. 6 years old.
Free State High School.
I have my notes up here and I'm glancing between two and I'm just reading the wrong
Go
thing.
Firebirds.
Jesus.
Go
Whatever.
Firebirds, exactly.
Free State Growlers at the
Free State-
Harpies.
I don't think they'd be
At
eligible.
Mass Street Fish House.
The Mass Street Fish House Harpies.
There we go.
Yeah.
Oh.
We're going full government now.
Are you
Sorry,
guys
guys.
directly across the street, Free State and Mass Street Fish? Yeah.
No, it's a block away.
Catty
but
corner.
yeah.
Oh, is this across the street? They could just throw catapults like on each other, just throw shit on each other. I don't know.
They can throw oysters at us. That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I don't
Sounds
care.
It's an aphrodisiac, too. Everybody wins.
Oh my gosh. Did you guys play them last year? Let's see. Harpies.
No, we haven't played
No,
them
they
in a
didn't. No,
couple
they-
years.
It's not a pick 'em, but I'm
No, pick 'em.
picking Free State.
No,
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Woo.
Yep.
I think we're pretty much snugged up
I
against
think
each other
this
in the
is
rankings. I
a
think
very
we're
yeah.
great
I-
matchup.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a competitive game for sure,
yeah.
especially with the addition of Emberly and Sam this year to Harpies. I think
Yep.
it'll be nice and competitive. They're extremely
Yeah, I know
good players.
this week they
so
were missing Sam, Emberly, Luke. Seemed
Yeah.
like
they
quite
have a
few
lot of
people.
young people, and I think they'll be competitive.
we are missing. It's Memorial Day weekend, and we're missing some people. So we've got some old Free State Growlers coming back to play. We've got some first timers playing. We'll see how it all shakes out. But
I'm going to change my
That's
pick.
tough.
I know it's tough. It's tough. But what can you do?
Yeah.
Holidays.
Take it as it comes. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Hey,
we love
I'm
playing
going out
Harpies.
of town this weekend, but we're going to be back just in time for our game.
Always. Yeah, we have played Harpies in the playoffs a couple times over the past few years, and I can't remember. I think they've probably gotten the better of us, but we'll see. Whoever wins is probably more of a contender for the Twain. Whoever loses probably more in the boot or more in the plate
yeah.
realm.
there.
Yeah, not the boot.
Wait
No.
a second. Whoa.
Hey,
We're tanking if we lose hard.
I know everyone deserves a vacation, but I will say that Cougar ended a vacation in a tropical paradise to come back and horribly coach third. That's dedication.
How typical.
Jesus.
In paradise.
Ouch, Haley.
From what I heard in the group chat, at least the subgroup chat for the team, not the one where Cougar sends out the 18-page emails.
His
They
manifestos.
were getting a GoFundMe together to keep him there longer.
That's
so
not
that
true.
Tyler could coach third.
That's
What a
not
choice.
true. Stop making stuff up. That's
One
not
phone
true.
call to the FAA, you can ground a lot of planes, man. Just save your money.
Exactly. Be like, there's a really tall guy.
My passport's legal, okay? I was born here. Come on. Whatever.
Brooks?
Yeah,
Hey,
Brooks.
just got a random update for you guys. Jeff and I just did the numbers, and there's 11 teams on Mass.
11 teams on Mass.
11 teams on Mass.
Damn.
11 teams on
You-
Mass? Is
Yeah.
that right?
You guys
You
should
would-
make a traveling trophy.
Yeah, I was going to
Pass
say,
it around,
like
did you
trophy.
include all of the new additions this year? We have 2, yeah?
Terrebonne, and what's the other?
Yeah.
Wait, can I give you a little bit of trivia as well?
Isn't
that?
JB's new?
JB's is on.
It's not technically
No, it's not
Mass, but it's Vermont.
But the question
Come on.
is
Vermont, okay.
Johnny's on Mass.
Yes.
Yes,
That was my
I
trivia.
was going to
They
say
are.
Johnny's
Yes.
is definitely a Mass
Okay.
Street. I think
Gaslight
if you
Gardens?
are within,
Still sponsor
That's
a
like
team.
gone. Oh, okay. Okay.
Still no longer. Okay.
I don't know,
So
I
then
don't
it
know.
is 11.
okay.
Just
oh,
10.
that's just 10. Okay.
Okay.
So 10.
Hell yeah,
That's
Lawrence
amazing.
Pride.
10.
I already contributed to making a traveling trophy for a matchup against Johnny's, and then they became the best team in the league. I'm
Yeah.
not going to do another one just to go in there and watch them hold on to it forever.
So are you putting those funds toward an updated big game chain?
That thing needs no updating. Have you seen it? God,
I just spent like more diamonds.
more diamonds. Yeah. We'll get it gold encrusted.
YSC 6 at 5 p.m. R-Bar at the KBC Tropics.
And our bar is where?
610 Florida Street. They might want to stay there on Sunday.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Oh shit!
Hey, Tropics. Anyone come up?
That wasn't. I've been disrespectful earlier. That was no disrespect. I've got to see the Tropics play their last 2 games. Man, this is not last year's Tropics.
Best
And
uniforms in the league, Tropics. You have the extra
For
size.
now.
I wear a medium.
Well, if you wear a medium, that means you really wear a large. I saw one of those. Those are some those sizes, boy.
This is called dad bod.
You'll need it.
I have an amazing 5-year-old who's going to be on Empire in 13 years and lead us to the cup. Keelan Trotter.
He's ready.
Where are the R-Bar people? There are more Tropics here than R-Bar.
Yeah, we're
folks.
at our bar, and
They did
how
not
many? 5
come
Tropics?
to their home territory.
Y'all want to talk about this game? Cole, Maddie, Tyler, Ryan. No one. Anyone want to talk about it?
No one from the Tropics is going to comment on their game.
Tyler's
so-
comment was, "What
Fine.
is there to say?" Which sounds like bulletin board material to
Yeah.
me.
I was going to say, he basically just said that they were going to run
so.
them. I think that's what it was.
Clay, I want to see a diatribe tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. on the KVKL page on 9 reasons why the Tropics should fear you and your team.
Yeah. No.
I think Tyler just said shutout. I don't know. I feel like I heard
That's
that.
what I
No,
heard.
he did not. No, he did not.
He did, in fact, and I think that's a really hot take, but
I don't think that's such a hot take. YSC 6 at 7 p.m. Our referees, the Bald Beavers at the Gators. With a Y.
Beavers.
With a Y.
Beavers are going to win this one, dude.
Yeah.
Really?
Definitely.
I think it'll be competitive though.
I think it'll be a good game.
Yeah.
But this is all for the Beavers.
Are they baseball?
Hold on.
I thought I was going to bring a hot take saying the Beavers were going to win. Did you say the Beavers are going to win
Oh,
also?
yeah. No.
Damn, all right.
I don't think that's a hot take, especially the way they've been playing week 1 and week 2.
Seriously.
I think this is going to be a really good matchup on the field, but I think Beavers get the win.
This will be their first, quote, legitimate win in 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Because last year they won on a
Forfeit.
forfeit.
Who lost
to-
that game?
I don't know. Who was it? You don't remember Arvell? Okay. You
I
don't
think it might have been Empire. I'm not sure.
It could
actually
it
was
might
Empire.
possibly
It
have
was
been Empire.
Rosa
Nope.
and Arvell refused to
Yeah,
acknowledge.
they refused to answer that. Yeah.
Which, by the way, has anyone else? Don't let Brant know that I'm never going to start on time, so that I can guilt him into making a bigger donation at the end of the year. No, I know, but he said he'd donate money every time we started on time, so I'm never going to start on time so that he can save up money and donate even more later. Oh no, I'm playing the long con.
The long game is the
Yeah.
way to go on that.
Yeah.
For sure.
Also, shout out Brant for recording and editing the game this past weekend.
Yeah.
Really appreciate that. A lot of effort
Also
goes into it.
for donating to the equipment that we get to use on
Yes.
the podcast tonight.
The
Thank you
soundboard,
very
control
much.
board, yeah.
Shout out
Brandon-
him
Brandon's one
and
of those.
Damn.
there were a few other people now.
Him, myself, and Kenneth Caberline.
Hell
and,
yeah.
No.
Booty hog?
That's Ken Dog, the booty hog.
Kenneth Caberline. Stop it. Kenneth Caberline. No. I'm not using that silly nickname. No.
YSC 7 at 5 p.m. The Ringers at late fees.
Ringers are running them for
Ringers.
sure.
Ringers all day. I'm going with the Ringers.
Even though it's not a pick 'em.
Not a pick 'em, it's a pick 'em in my heart.
Last year's game, my word, the final score was 28-17. 28-17. Was it 19?
Yeah.
Still
20
crazy. 28-19. My goodness.
Was the wind blowing out? My God. 28-19.
28-19. My word.
Jesus.
Brooks isn't sure.
Wait, who won last year?
Ringers
late
did.
fee.
Who did?
No, Ringers.
Late fees did.
Fees won
Yeah.
last year.
So no, that's what I said.
late fees won.
So,
You're right.
Year one in the league, late fees beat them by 20. Last year they beat them by 9. This year, Ringers by 2. The rule of 11.
I can see that. I can
more.
see that. Yeah.
Chop it.
Yeah. Especially how they play against Red Lion. Yeah, I see it. I see it. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be hard not to pick with the way that the schedule shakes out. The Ringers a lot the rest of the year. These guys are going to be something to deal with, and you want to say you got a loaded top 8. I'm going to put them up there for plate contenders.
Damn.
Yeah, they're making that leap in one season. I believe in Brooks.
That's a promotion.
Like, I don't even play for them, and I'm all fucking in on these guys.
Yeah. Wow.
Best podcast guest of the year, Brooks.
Indeed.
Yep.
YSC 7 at 7 p.m. The Soda Jerks at JB's Califusion.
Again, JV's Califusion is the old South Squad. In case you didn't know.
Yeah.
I'm going to assume those two played last year.
They did.
They did.
Soda Jerks won, right?
Let's see. I had it.
Is it like 18-11?
They had to have,
I didn't have the score. I apologize. But yeah, Soda Jerks won that game. Yeah, Soda Jerks won. But 18-11 sounds right. Yeah. Sorry, I forgot. I didn't have the score. But yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good. Derek Davis, veteran in the league versus the captain versus Adam Patterson, who's been a captain since, my God, 20 years in running.
I don't understand. So, JB Califusion, they were kind of in a dogfight with Bald Beavers this past week, right? Before it got called.
Yep. When it got called.
Yeah.
They have good players. JB Califusion has good players. I don't understand some of the results that they're putting up.
Well, last year they had a really tough schedule.
To be fair, they beat our ass. So maybe I'm jaded by that, and I'm just like, that's a good team.
I think that's lingering.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
It seems like on paper they should win this game, but Soda Jerks might be
Yeah.
better than them, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, the Jerks did finish, 8-2 last year.
Soda Jerks,
they
8-2,
did.
correct. Yes,
Yeah.
that is correct. 8-2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we're overseeded by the board. And lost in the first round of the playoffs. Anyway.
They thought they should have been seated higher.
Well,
which is what I.
The results say they should have been seated much lower.
Yeah, we'll throw that out there. YSC 8 at 5 p.m. Lawrence Shirt Factory at the Red Legs.
Oh, boy. If you remember last year in that game of the week,
Yeah,
killed them.
it was
They
a
killed them.
rough game to
Yeah.
watch, for sure.
23-3.
I
23-3.
I think things will be different this year. I think it'll be competitive for the most part. Who knows, how things will shake out, but
I remember the quote from Nick Benton from Red Legs. He was on the panel. He said before the game of the week against Lawrence Shirt Factory that they would win by 8.
yeah, I was gonna say, didn't he have
Afterwards,
some
they did.
outrageous
and
take?
here's the funny part. After the game, I saw Calvin. He said to me, in order to win by 8, you actually have to score 8 runs. I was like,
and so that still wasn't the worst game of the week take of 2024 because you picked Sword to beat us by 20.
I did.
Remember that?
I did.
Anyway.
I did. Boy, that was a great take.
The Shirt Factory's not going to win. What was it, 23-3?
23-3 last year.
But they're going to win probably by 7 plus, right, against Red Legs?
Yeah, it's a 7+ they will, yeah. Because Red Legs still trying to figure themselves out with the new players and all that. And Shirt Factory, the way they've looked, even though he's poo-pooed by Arvell for what reason, beating Post House. No, it's just Shirt Factory. Yeah, they should beat the Red Legs. Still handle it. Red Legs still figure themselves out.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. I think it'll still be competitive. Who knows? Maybe Red Legs will come out, hot because of that tough loss last week.
What? Poo-poo on? I'm sorry.
You're poo-pooing a Shirt Factory.
No, I'm just saying that Rollers and I'm saying that Topos are better than them. Shirt Factory's a great team.
You're crazy.
They're a great team.
You're crazy.
Top 10. Top 10.
Oh my God!
But they're not better than the Rollers. They're not better than.
Not better than the Rollers. Arvel, what the hell's wrong with you? Hey, as a fellow Man United fan, what the hell's wrong with you?
Most fun wins.
You're crazy. Crazy.
No. YSC 8 at 7 p.m. The LFK Rays at the Screamers.
Rays keep it close.
Against Screamers?
10 or less. The Rays keep it close.
10 is close?
10 is close?
I guess in this situation it is close.
Less than 10. The Rays keep it close. Darren and Jess and Brandon, they're going to come together and make it a 10 or less game.
Losing by 10 or less.
They're going to lose by 10 or less.
Okay. All right.
LFK.
Yeah. Screamers off for a week because they had the game of the week that was PPD, as you like to call it, Sean. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, and David, I love you. Yell at me. I called you out of the bushwork. I'm waiting for my Riemann.
Yeah, he's not happy with me as well. So that's okay.
What did you guys do today? I don't know what you did.
Well, it was Cougar, and I perpetuated it because it wasn't necessarily untrue.
Oh, you just said they had an easy schedule.
They had to
not last year. The previous 2 years, they had a really good schedule.
2 years.
It was
they had
super
very
easy.
beneficial schedules.
Super easy. Yeah.
That's not that hard to take.
No, it's not.
No,
It's true.
And I mean the numbers back to it was like 1 year they had what 358.
Yeah, so their strength of schedule was like below or hovering around 300, even less
It
than
was
that.
the exact same scenario in 2023 that I was just talking about with Soldiers. They went Screamers went 8-2 in 2023, and then they played us in the playoffs, and they
won.
The
Yeah.
board didn't learn their lesson.
Yeah.
The schedule.
Yeah. So.
Sean liked that one.
You were on that board in 2023, wasn't you?
Yeah.
In 2023, you were on the board?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's a conglomerate vote. It's not just me.
Oh, okay,
it's not
okay.
just one person.
Oh, okay.
Nor do I get the final say in where rankings should be.
So you're telling me you don't make the whole schedule all by yourself? You don't decide everything?
Blame the algorithm.
No, it's the algorithm's fault.
Yeah.
I'm blaming not computers in case our overlords are listening. I wholly welcome you. But no, I mean, yeah, they had an easy schedule. It is what it is. Teams, and you see that now less, but it still happens because there's turnovers in teams. I mean, like with Poshwash, Sideport, WOG, we were a perennial top 12 team that fell to 35. And then was struggling to get out of the 30s, and then within a year finished at 14 in the RPI, but on paper in the losses would have finished 12th. So, I mean, things can happen. Schedules can be very beneficial or non-beneficial, but all that matters is what happens in the playoffs, and that's where everything comes to an end and all answers are given.
Well, and I think that the major thing with scheduling and seating and stuff is that we don't have stats. We don't run stats on base percentage, how many errors teams are running. I think that would be extremely beneficial in understanding how really teams perform and not just looking at the stat sheet and seeing what the run differential is. You never know what's happening in a game and what mistakes are happening.
Here's something that I've talked about with a couple of people behind the scenes and that I think could be the next step for our league and aiding in that type of tracking. There are already apps, whole platforms that exist like Game Changer. And I think if we could get someone to donate to the league or a conglomerate of folks to get $5 together a piece, we could very easily have all of our games scorekeeping done by phone from hand. There's no paper needed. There's no writing. There's no distractions. Once the play happens, you input what it was, and it's live. You can log in from home and see all 30, at the time, 18 live games, where the scores are, where they are in the game. And it could also help with the coaches and the team sponsors, owners, and Cougars situation with stat tracking and knowing, like, are you maximizing people's potential or are you maximizing what your team's potential can be? I think there's a lot of room for growth in the scorekeeping, and I think that that's a really cool idea that we should look into in the future.
I don't know. I haven't used Game Changer, but you just said somebody having their phone in their hand would be less distracting. They're going to be extremely distracted. They're going to get text messages. Their kids are going to call them like, shit's going to happen, and they're going to be like, oh fuck, I completely missed that play. Versus doing a pen and paper. Like if you are holding your phone, your personal phone, you're going to get pinged throughout an hour and a half kickball game. The other thing to factor in, we literally live in the town with a man who changed the entire face of baseball. You guys know that Bill James lives in Lawrence, Kansas? The man who, like, Moneyball and the entire Moneyball revolution is based on. Let's fucking get that man involved. He'll come up with some
yes. Love Bill James. Oh,
I don't know. Overall, I think it would make us extremely, like, it would increase the
He needs to throw the first pitch at
of the
Hobbs.
league, being able to understand really, like, that is the diamond, the understanding of the game, like, being able to look at those stats and scouting on teams, doing a scouting report before you play a team, understanding where people are picking. I think it'll overall make the league more competitive and build everybody up from the bottom.
You're talking about it from a scouting perspective, maybe from like a self-scouting perspective. If you have somebody in your own dugout or one of your own fans doing it, rather than like the official scorekeeper, I think that would make more sense. But I still think there's value in the official scorekeeper keeping the actual book, right?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, when we played travel ball, the mom behind the dugout kept the game changer, and then the scorekeeper kept the official, the book.
Yeah.
Both would be very beneficial, and I think game changer would be an extreme game changer to the game. Yeah.
Hobbs Park, sponsored by Thrivent Financial Field. Brandon Shreve at 7 p.m. The Woost at Empire. Well, that's going to be the most fun game of the week.
Oh, yeah.
By far. And already, clubhouse leader, 19th hole leader. All of it.
Go Empire. It's going to be a fun game. Honestly, this is going to be one of those games that's going to tell us where we are at. We want to be a top 25 team, and we know Roost is definitely a top 25 team. So this is going to tell us a lot about what we need to do to get to that top 25 spot.
Absolutely. So looking forward to it. The only two things I have to say is the Empire did nothing wrong, and Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with.
I agree. Jeff, and you like to party.
To be fair, the Empire did have the best character in the entire series. Can anyone guess who that is?
What series?
Grand Admiral Thrawn. You're welcome.
I do want to shout out the original Empire players, Matt, Kate, and Thomas, where they took some lumps, but they didn't give up, and they stuck with it, and now they are able to enjoy a few wins. Because I'm not sure how many players would go through the bumps that okay.
In a row? Yeah, that losing streak is...
Yeah, these guys took 45 losses and stayed with it, and now we are on the up and up. And I want to shout out Thomas, Matt, and Kate for sticking to the script. Go Empire.
And I think Thomas, if I had the right guy, I think he was the one that played his first game ever.
Ad game of the week.
Jean shorts.
Yeah.
Khakis. And was like so fucked up, like fell over like 20 times. First game ever, and he just kept coming back for more. Just an incredible career debut.
He's our backbone of the team. He's an amazing guy. But Empire 9, Roost 8.
Woo.
All right.
Is that rankings or I just
Is that ranking?
That's the score. But in vibes, it goes Empire 1, Roost 2, and Sock Squad 3 with the bubble machine.
B-Holes are going to comment.
Used to be sauce, but Dave's house.
Yeah.
Sorry. But anyway, they got a vote machine. So
Rounding out week 3 at Thriving Financial Field, but sponsored by Brandon Shreve at 9:15, Jazz House at the Rockets.
The 74th birthday for Rick for Jazz House for that day, I guess.
Indeed.
Yeah. Happy early 74th birthday to Rick.
Yeah, happy early birthday, Rick.
Yeah.
I think the Jazz House is probably going to give him a pretty nice present.
Yeah. That game, like I said, Jazz House, they are going through a lot of new guys on Jazz House, so still trying to figure out there. You got the Rockets. I mean,
yeah, I watched ref the Rockets this last week, but I really don't think that they're going to be able to put together what they need to beat Jazz House.
No,
not under the lights.
I don't see it.
I think those kids are going to come out yacked and jacked.
Sure.
Well, that rounds out week 3. So I did have a discussion question here from Seth. Seth, you want to take it away?
Okay. So when I started playing in the league, predominantly the ladies play that pitcher, second base, and rover. Yeah, and it has evolved a lot since then. A lot more males are pitching, a lot more ladies have moved to the outfield. But the positions that I haven't really ever seen ladies play are third base, catcher, and first base. And I know Ariana Beals plays first base, but she's kind of the only one that I've seen consistently do it. My question for you folks is, do you think that we'll ever see a team play somebody at one of those spots week in and week out? And again, Ari already does it with the Beatles, but do you think we'll ever see a team play a lady at one of those spots week in and week out as a top 12-ish team?
No.
You said first, third, and what?
Catcher.
Okay.
Because ladies have conquered the outfield, they play everywhere except for those two positions. And I was just thinking about it today. It's like, what can you do to be different, right?
Yeah.
I think the only reality would be first base, just because like that softball IQ really does have a factor, which is what she has, and that's why she plays first base for them. I think third and catcher are just so difficult for a woman, just because we see so many men throwing the ball so fast from those positions, and I think that's really what it is, the women currently in the league just don't have that physicality to be competitive in those positions on top teams.
I will say this, there's a little bit of history context about someone playing catcher as a lady and being a top 12 team. The old Channel 6 Topos.
Yes.
Cheyenne.
Yes.
If you remember.
Yeah.
It was 10 years ago. It was 10 years ago, and they were a top 10, top 12 team.
Top 6.
They were up there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And they were really good. And she did a really good job fielding position at catcher. Some of the throws she made, and she's quick. And I was like, wow. It was like, she's
that was an amazing recall that you had on that.
Yep. Yeah. Cheyenne from the old Channel 6 Topos, which used to be Young Spine, now it's back to
Cheyenne and Angela.
Yeah, they did. But Angela didn't play second base. Yeah. That's when Angela started the league with the Channel 6 Topos. She did, yeah. Was Janae there as well?
I can't remember.
I don't know if Janae was there at Channel 6 as well. Maybe not there. But history context, it has happened before. And I did see, it was 2 years ago in the playoffs, that Johnny's, 3 years ago, they were playing inverted infield where they had Carey at third base.
Okay.
It was 3 years ago, I think.
Like when Mike would flip the bump block.
Yeah, something like that. Well, maybe not bump block, but for a little while, Carey did play third base just for a little bit during the playoffs, 3 years ago. So it's like it can't be. It has happened before. That's all I got.
So, kind of piggybacking off of Haley's statement, echoing it, but also looking at it from a different angle. I think that in our league, a top 12 team wouldn't be able to field those positions for the ladies just purely because of the talent that is already there. And it's not that they lack the physicality, because if you took the 10 best ladies, the 15 best ladies in our league and fielded only them against 90% of the rest of the U.S., they're going to shithouse most other competitive kickball leagues and teams.
Yeah.
But it's also a statement as to how good the catching, first base, and third triangle is in our league. At the top, you're not kicking, you're not bunting, you're not getting on against any of those people without a ball being perfect and some sort of error, whether it's an obvious error or whether it's a slip of the fingers when grabbing the ball that you don't see. That's the difference in being safe and out in those top 10, top 12 games. The talent is just so good. I can't see a team that would start that lineup without it being more of a vanity proving point.
Yeah.
That they could, and you could take a handful of teams in the league and only play their ladies and take another ladies team and put them together, and they can compete in the top 15 all year in our league. But that's how good the triangles are in the top 10. That at best, I would say catcher and or first base, and to a lesser extent maybe catcher, but third base is such a hard position with the type of athletes we have that there are top teams that struggle against other top teams.
Are you surprised that you haven't seen more teams try to put a lady at first base? Just because it is like, you're always trying to get another edge. You're always trying to get another edge. It's the top teams especially. Next thing you know, it started out with, KTC putting Kenny at pitcher, right? Like, that's to gain an edge. And then all of a sudden there's two lady outfielders on Global Cafe. That's to gain an edge. They're playing four outfielders. I'm surprised that I haven't seen the top team put a lady at first base, and then 7 guys running around the field.
I honestly think it's a height thing. I don't think that there's enough women in the league who are over 5'6".
First base is such a same with third too. Like you don't want them dropping place kicks right over your head.
The margin for error with a 5'7" first baseman is small.
And I want to reiterate, I was not hating on the women in the league. I think it's truly just like the athleticism that we see. It's just so difficult to produce anything as a woman in those positions, and I would love to see it happen. Maybe we'll see some height and some strength in that way, but at this current moment, it's not feasible in my mind.
By the way, just off the topic, like a historical context, you Haley, playing in the outfield. For those us old heads who remember all the history of the past 20 years, the first lady that played in the outfield was the old space pussy, like about 15 years ago. Here was Abby. But for those who remember, ask Adam Patterson, Josh Hunt, or anybody else who played the past 15, 20 years, or Nick Lerner, Red Lion. The first lady to play in the outfield was Abby from Space Pussy. Most of us are like, who is she? It's like, if you remember, she could fly. She could catch, and she was amazing it was like right center field. She was phenomenal.
But that's what I'm saying. Like 15 years ago, there was one. Right? And now there are teams in the top 5 that are playing 2 ladies in the outfield every single day. Every single week in, week out. So like the idea that we're sitting up here like, oh, it could never, it might not ever. Like those things change, and I'm just curious. I'm wondering, like, I think it's probably sooner rather than later that there is somebody who takes one of those positions and turns it in, like, owns it. Whether it's first base or catcher, perhaps.
I'm trying to remember those like as far as first base, like ladies who played in first base, like Ari from D-Holes. You also have, I think, Kelly. I know she's still on JV's Cali Fusion, the old South squad. She played first base as well. And I think Andrea Chavez for Ballin. I think at times she's played first base as well. So, but that is not an easy position for anyone to play. And those 3 ladies to play a first baseman and just be consistent there, I mean, props to them. Props. Huge. Yeah, so.
I'll put my money down that there'll be a lady playing first base on the top 10 team in the next 3 years.
I
think that's like the next evolution of it.
Yeah.
I have one gift for you guys. Cougar and Sean. A reminder about the history of Man U, who you guys were.
What are you doing? What are you doing, Arvel?
Just read this out loud.
What are you doing, Arvel?
Just read it out loud.
Well, this isn't
Oh, here we
correct.
go. Here we go.
This isn't
Liverpool
correct.
on top anyway.
That's not correct.
19 domestic titles, not 18 there, Arvel, for Liverpool.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got 63 total, but guess who has the most titles still?
I know, it's 66.
Oh, wow. Look at all those fucking community shields.
You tell him, Sean.
63.
63 for
63
66.
for Liverpool, 56 for
Arvel,
Man U.
here's the thing. Arvel, I'm a Man United fan myself.
How many
I've been
Champions League stars you got, pal?
2.
No.
No, I'm talking about Man United. 99 and there's three, actually 3, but yeah. Arvel,
Oh, so half as
and
many.
the Man United fan for the past, since Ji-Sung Park from 15 years ago, you can bring this to anyone, but our team sucks.
First of all, let's be positive. Our under 20 team is doing well. We got Bruno, who's one of the best players in the world. Man U is going to be.
What? The best players in the world?
One of the best players.
Is Bruno not a top 10 player in the Premier League?
Are we done?
Top 10? I don't know about that.
Top 20?
I appreciate everybody on that.
So I don't know about
Thank you for joining us, Seth. The pleasure has been all ours.
Most fun wins. Thank you guys for having me. KBKL is very special, seriously. Cougar, you're an amazing guy.
Thank you.
Sean, you are too, man. Had so much fun.
Hey, don't let people know that. Everyone hates me. Let's keep it
Not
that way.
everyone hates you. That's not true, Sean. That's not true.
I just want to make it very clear I don't hate Sean, and I was so excited to play with him, and I was excited again this year because he is just the most electric person to play with. Swear to God.
Well, that makes my heart.
I want to make it clear, I'm putting it on tape right now, my Diana Plate champion vlog.
The plate?
The plate!
Oh no!
Oh no! Oh my word! Oh my word!
He's just being amazing. Don't let him
And he
be
ran out on
a-
that. He ran out on that. Oh my goodness.
Gosh.
Friends, enemies, and those yet to be decided. Thank you for joining us once again. The Week 2 recap right here from our bar patio at 610 Florida Street. Cougar, another one's in the books.
Yep.
And we'll see what Week 3 has in store for us here.
Absolutely.
Why don't you hit that music and play us on out, Paul?
Have a good holiday, everyone. Memorial Day. Please
Yeah.
be safe. Please be safe.
Happy Memorial Day to everyone. I hope you have quite a few days off. I do. As a grown says, I take so much vacation because I get